Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It is Rick Kamla. A.M. Pfeffer's up top. Dwight Walton is in the lower right. He's a Canadian basketball legend. A.M. Pfeffer, anchor, author, businessman. He's got incredible hair. He's got a great wardrobe, and both these guys have amazing sports opinions. Unfortunately, Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X, is not going to be able to make the show. He's under the weather today. Talked to him right before we came on. He said, "Go get him, guys." And he's all like stuffed up, and we wish Doc well, man. We'll get him back on Tuesday. AM and Dwight, what's up, man? Let's party.
Let's get this on, fellas. A lot of good topics today. Listen, the news keeps on giving, so we've got plenty to talk about today.
The news cycle never sleeps. It does not. And it's a Friday. It could be a news dump Friday. We could get some live, breaking news here. That'd be kind of cool. We start the show, guys, and this news is not cool. And by the way, if you're wondering, where's Dennis Scott? Our producer, Jason, we also have our technical director, Kai. They said that he's going to join us at some point here today. So the great Dennis Scott, a.k.a. 3D, a.k.a. Leave It, will be joining us at some point. So stay tuned for that. Antonio Brown is potentially in big trouble. ESPN reports Antonio Brown was arrested on an attempted murder charge stemming from a shooting after a celebrity boxing event in Miami, police confirmed Thursday. According to an arrest warrant detailing the May 16th shooting, Brown is accused of grabbing a handgun from a security staffer after the boxing match and firing 2 shots at a man that he had been in a fist fight with earlier. The man, Zul Karnain Kwame Nantambu, told investigators one of the bullets grazed his neck. Okay. Police initially detained Antonio Brown after the gunshots were fired at the event. Brown was seen fighting. This is very, very important. Listen, Brown was seen fighting with several people on video posted on social media. This is all according to ESPN. And gunshots could clearly be heard after the altercation. Police released Brown after a few hours, and he posted an explanation to social media the following day. Because, of course, there are 2 sides to every story. All right? Antonio Brown said, and I quote, "I was jumped by multiple individuals who tried to steal my jewelry and cause physical harm to me. Contrary to some videos circulating, police temporarily detained me until they received my side of the story and then released me." He said here in all caps, "I went home that night and was not arrested. I will be talking to my legal counsel and attorneys on pressing charges on the individuals that jumped me," end quote. Let's marry 2 things from the ESPN article. Brown was seen fighting with several people on a video. And then what Brown said, jumped by multiple individuals. Guys, innocent until proven guilty is the American way. And some of you may be sarcastically and skeptically snickering out there, but that's how it should be. If you are jumped by several people looking to steal your things, if Antonio Brown's telling the truth, and we just don't know which side is real yet, okay? But if you're jumped by several people looking to steal your things, then this could be self-defense. He could have been in survival mode, okay? 5 dudes are jumping you. I don't know how that looks. I've never been in that situation. But there's 2 sides to every story. He may also be guilty of these accusations, okay? Either way, we're about to find out what really happened. Stay tuned. Dwight Walton, I go to you first on your reaction to this wild story.
As we know, listen, being in the media now, Rick, we have to be very careful with how we phrase our sentences, our conversations, our words, especially when it comes to stories like this. And in my opinion, the main reason this story has legs is because of what we've seen towards the end of his football career, both on and off the field. And that's why, so we need to be able to give people the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, when you're a celebrity and we can see a train wreck coming in real time or happening in real time, this is the unfortunate part of being a celebrity. Now, listen, I'm not one to have a gun on my person when I'm going out, but at Antonio Brown's level, I understand the level of concern, safety, being always coming after people. You could be in a restaurant. You could be at a movie. You could be walking down the street. You're a target if you're a celebrity. And again, until the truth comes out, and because of Antonio Brown's past history, especially the way he unceremoniously bowed out of the National Football League, that's why this story has legs. Of course, we want to protect ourselves when we're out in public. Again, I wouldn't have a gun, but it is what it is when it comes to him. And until the truth truly comes out, I'm not comfortable enough to truly understand nor make a comment about this story.
Mr. Pfeffer, your thoughts on this Antonio Brown story?
All right, well, first of all, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think Antonio Brown had a gun on his person. Didn't he grab a security guard's gun next to him and then start firing the shots? I'm pretty sure that is what happened, which
that
is in
correct.
itself, right? Like, I mean, that's
it
action
says,
movie level stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
ESPN reports Brown is accused of grabbing a handgun from a security staffer after the boxing match, firing 2 shots at a man, fist fight earlier. Go ahead, Am.
And then the other side of this story is, I mean, he was detained on the other side of the world by U.S. Marshals and flown back to New Jersey, of all places. So something to be said about that. Now, to Dwight's point, it's hard to actually make a comment on this right now until this plays out. And Rick, to your point, innocent until proven guilty. So we're going to see what happens there. But let's talk about this man's history for a second, right? And I want to go back to 2016 at the height of his fame, okay? I mean, his Q rating at this point was off the charts. 2016, an appearance on Shark Tank. 2016, an appearance on Dancing with the Stars. A couple years later, The Masked Singer, 2019 is when he was there. And it all went downhill from there. And starting in 2019, there was the cryotherapy incident, if you remember, the helmet incident with the Raiders after he was traded there. He never played it down for them, okay? And then, obviously, it all culminated, and then, obviously, what happened over a couple of years and what came out about some of the more, what's the best word, nefarious things that he's known for, unfortunately, behind the scenes, and some assaults and certainly some other incidents that came up. And then in 2022, what amounted to, the strip show at MetLife Stadium, and then, ultimately ended his NFL career. But look, Antonio Brown, his Twitter/X account, I mean, it literally reads like, a satire account from like a struggling Hollywood writer who's like trying to make a name for himself. Okay. I hearken back to the beginning of the season, the opening day football game down in Brazil. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was streamed on YouTube. Okay, Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner are the 2 announcers on there. They cut to a sideline reporter destroying, who is a massive YouTube star. Okay, and somehow after he goes on his own diatribe, right at the end, he sneaks in there that his favorite player is Antonio Brown, and they cut back to Eisen and Warner, who literally have a look on their face like, I can't believe he just said that, and they could not have moved past what he had said fast enough. I mean, Antonio Brown someday is going to have like his own elective course in college. Some kid someday is going to be able to literally take an entire course on Antonio Brown. That's how insane what the last 10 years have been. We're going to see where this bears out, but he is by far one of the most fascinating figures we've had in sports the last decade, the last century.
And AM, if I could interject here, Rick, this is exactly why this story has legs. It almost makes sense to have this script playing itself out in real time. That's why we're paying attention to this. And again, when you're a celebrity, when you're being put out in the spotlight, you're an easy target. And people, sometimes they will leave their homes and their sole purpose is to cause havoc that night, especially if they know an area where celebrities normally gather themselves, want to have a good time, want to have dinner, want to go out and dance and party. And they put themselves in a position to where, you know what, let me see if I can screw with somebody's life right now and just cause problems. And unfortunately for Antonio Brown, this is what happened. He's a target. He has money. He had expensive jewelry on. And again, I correct myself. He allegedly grabbed a gun from a security guard. And of course, the natural thing is to protect yourselves. But it's unfortunate that we're seeing this thing play out the way it does. And again, I just hope that he is innocent until proven guilty, but it's easy for us to see both sides of this and to ultimately end up talking about this on this platform.
There's a lot of evidence on Antonio Brown's resume that does not look good, but we've got to compartmentalize, okay? The stuff that's he's been allegedly or definitively involved in the past, it matters to a degree. It's like, here we go again, but only maybe, right? He may have been acting in self-defense, and we could find out 6 weeks from now that he's been completely cleared of this attempted murder charge. You know what I'm saying? So we're in wait and see mode right now. The downfall, I mean, they're clearly not subjectively but objectively has been a downfall of Antonio Brown. And to think about where he was with Pittsburgh, with Ben Roethlisberger, 100 grabs, the huge yardage numbers. Let me tell you guys something about it. And you guys watched his entire career, covered his entire career. He was more open than Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver of all time, and it's not debatable. I will not debate that. I will not even hear a debate about that. I don't even think I think everybody just knows that, right? It's Jerry. Okay, then you can talk T.O., Moss, Fitz. That's my Mount Rushmore, but Jerry's all alone at the top. You can debate Jordan, Kareem, LeBron. Get your debate on with that. Not the GOAT of wide receivers. But Antonio Brown, who's not the GOAT of wide receivers, he was on his way to maybe being a top 10 wide receiver all time. And I'll give you his numbers. His numbers, even in 12 years, and it got weird at the end, right? His numbers are still phenomenal. 928 grabs, 12,000 yards, and 83 touchdowns. Those are Hall of Fame numbers for sure. But Antonio Brown's the most open wide receiver I've ever seen. The route running, the quick twitch combined with the electric speed. And then he had another gear, right? Like that game mode gear that just was insane. Like you're like watching him like, how is he open all the time? It's because he was that great. And the great ones make it look easy, and they just do it again and again and again. So we just got to wait and see. Let's bring on one of our great audience members right here. And I've got to vet her name as we bring her on. It's Karaya or Correa, and we've had some debates around here, Karaya, Karaya. Could you please, as we welcome you on here, and we really appreciate you following our podcast, watching our podcast. How do you pronounce your name, dear?
It is Correa.
Correa, okay, I understand. Well, welcome to the show, Correa. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure. We're doing great. So what would you like to talk about today?
I don't have anything in particular to talk about. I really just kind of, just first of all, just say how much I'm enjoying, the show and everything that you guys are doing. I like how authentic the show is. It's fun, it's real, and it's raw. It's not, overly produced. And like I said, I've been enjoying all the topics that you guys have been going into.
We'd love to hear that. We'd love to hear that, Correa. How long have you been watching the show here?
For a while. I've been, I don't even remember when I first started it. Probably whenever Phil first introduced it. I've been following it ever since and just keeping up with everything that, he's been doing to build out the platform and the show.
Correa, how much basketball do you watch?
I try to get in as much as I can. Yeah.
Who's your team?
I am a Warriors fan. I'm a Steph Curry fan, so I guess default makes me a Warriors fan.
Okay. I understand. So you were there for all four of those rings. The dynasty, that's yours. You claim it?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes about that. It was fun watching them get that. For me, it's kind of frustrating watching them play. Just at times with like the turnovers and shooting threes and different things like that. But they're a fun team to watch. I like the style of basketball that they play, and Steph does what he does, and that's always fun to watch.
Hey, Correa, I have a question. Hi, it's Dwight Walton here. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Were you an athlete yourself? Did you play any sports growing up?
Yeah, I played college basketball.
What school? Where did you play?
CSU Stanislaus. It's a Division II school in Turlock, California, in the Central Valley.
Okay, it's well done.
What
Correa.
position, Correa?
I played 2 and 3, depending on the team we played. Sometimes, I played down in the 4 position.
Okay. All right. Ayo, go ahead.
Yeah, Correa, I got a question for you. Since we've had the debate on the show before, Steph Curry is like, we love going deep on this and doing top 10 lists on everything. And some people have Steph on the top 10. Some people don't yet have him on the top 10. And I understand you're a massive fan, but like from an objective standpoint, is he a top 10 player in the history of the NBA for you? And if not, why? And if so, why?
Wow. I would say yes. And again, I wasn't around for previous generations of the NBA, and, sometimes people bring that in. But for me, as long as I've been watching, I'll say yes, just the way that he's changed the game. You got everybody coming down shooting 3-pointers from, half court because Steph Curry does that. I think he's done a lot for the game. He's changed the way that the game is played, and defensively, how you have to guard him, and things like that. Is just he's always running around, he's always moving. So I think it kind of does make it hard to game plan against him because he doesn't stop moving, and that allows his teammates to get open. So you have to be strategic, when you play him, and what kind of defense you're going to run against him.
Appreciate it.
Well, Correa, we really appreciate you joining us. Dwight, you have something else?
Yeah, just one more question, Correa. I've been following the WNBA since its inception. I'm a huge fan. And my question to you is, what do you think, what are your thoughts on the current state of the WNBA, the Nafisa Collier comments after they were eliminated? First of all, again, I'm a huge fan. I think the WNBA is great, and it's going to be here for the rest of my life. In my opinion, I think it's going to be a great league. What do you think of the state of the league? Do you believe in what the players are talking about, what the goals they're trying to gain in the new collective bargaining agreement? I am 100% on their side. I do understand that fans out there have an opinion in terms of their marketability, their watchability, how much money they do deserve. But again, I'm a huge fan. What are your thoughts on the WNBA is progressing right now?
I've been watching the WNBA since it started, and from where it was to where it is now, it has grown tremendously. Again, I am like you with the players, and giving them what they deserve. And like people say, the marketability of it probably could be better. People on social media say, it's kind of hard to watch the games, the app doesn't work, and all this other stuff. But they have a great product, and I think with Angel, Caitlin, and Paige coming into the league, it brought so many more eyes to it, which is awesome for them. Like I said, they need to be paid what they deserve to be paid. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they have to go overseas so much to, I guess, make a good wage. What I am interested in is seeing how this new Project B league that they have coming out, and NECA actually just signed with them, and they were saying, how is that going to work with her being the WNBA PA president? But the salary for that, they were saying, could be up, to 7 and 8 figures, which is obviously, double, triple what they're getting now. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that. And of course, they have the Unrivaled and the I think it's the AU league. But something has to be done. Something has to change. I don't think this is going to be sustainable for too much longer. Kathy Engelbert, she's going to have to do something to get these talks moving, and to go on to keep making it a viable league, because there's great talent coming out of college that's going to be in the league soon, and they deserve to be seen here, in the States at the highest level.
Correa, we're going to be on the payroll soon with takes like that, okay? Correa, we really appreciate your time. Phenomenal stuff. We're always here for a conversation with you, okay? So dial in anytime. We love that you're out there. We hope you have a great weekend, and good luck to your Dubs.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys have a great weekend again. Thank you for having me on.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you,
It
Correa.
is our pleasure. Correa, that was cool. All right, so I want to bring up what, Dwight, I love that you went here. In a previous establishment, I did a WNBA show for this past season. I did a weekly show on the WNBA, and really, really enjoyed it. And Dwight, like you, I can't say I've been down since the very beginning, but I've been down since the early 2000s, right? So I've been down with the Dub for a while. With NBA TV, I did play-by-play for playoff games, like countless highlights. Like, I love the Dub. I've been down with the Dub for a while. Kathy Engelbert, as let me check up on that thought. We have a splasher, we have a wetter, we have $1 million gooseneck. We got Mr. Leave It, we got Mr. Let It Fly. Show him that gooseneck, Daisy. All the way down.
Hey,
my wrist doesn't quite go down. My wrist goes like that, kind of flat. It doesn't go all the way down into the.
Can we all try that? Can we all gooseneck it? Man, now that
There you go, AM. There you go, baby. There you go, Dwight. There you go. Leave it, baby. Leave it.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm chiming in right on time for all the listeners who have young women at home. I have 2 daughters, so I love the WNBA. I'm finally happy it's getting its just due. Caitlin, Candace Parker going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you just living life.
Asia Wilson. I mean, everything that the WNBA is doing, I'm happy it's finally getting its just due. Here's my challenge question to the panel, and here's my my question to all the viewers and all the people that say, well, the WNBA needs to get paid more. Here's how they get paid more. Get off your booties and go to the games. Stop talking. We got to go to the games. You have to buy the tickets. You have to buy the T-shirts. You have to buy the hats. It's called BRI, basketball related income. That's why NBA players make so much money. You go look at the arenas. Those arenas aren't sold out. I mean, last time my glasses checked, not every arena is sold out every night. It's the jerseys, it's the hats, it's all the stuff around the game. That's how we can help the ladies make more money, because that's why the men make so much money. So I tuned in just in time. Thank you, Rick. Everyone else. So now I throw it back to you guys. What do you think?
All right, so we got to welcome Brandon Armstrong in, a.k.a. B-Dot, with the new do. Let's get a look at you here. Take the hat off real quick. Let's see these braids, man.
I got to do it.
Oh, you got to do it.
Okay. Got to keep them looking nice. Got to keep them down.
He got that street ball look.
Too much forehead for the camera. You feel me?
Yes. I love it. All right, it's about to get real in here. I am so heightened and elevated by this WNBA thing. DZ, you've known me for a long time, okay? I'm a very peaceful, loving, go with the flow. I'm a hang loose type of guy, man. This ticks me off. This is commissioner malpractice at the highest possible level. It's the worst I've ever seen. At the apex of your sport is finally mainstream. The WNBA's been kick-ass for a while, but it has not been mainstream for a while. It is now. We're watching on ESPN. They're starting SportsCenter with it. Like, it's here. It's arrived. These Asia Wilson's in 10 commercials. Caitlin Clarkson, 10 commercials. They've arrived. There's other ladies in smaller. I saw Jewel Lloyd in a State Farm commercial, okay? Here's the problem. Greed, okay? And old school thinking. Like Kathy Engelbert thinks her players are dumb. She thinks that she can just say old school, like David Stern bully stuff, and it's going to work in 2025. And I love David Stern. He carried a heavy stick. He came from a different era. Okay. Adam Silver now is the new form of commissioner. Like more lenient and just fantastic in a million ways. Okay. Kathy Engelbert doesn't know what she's doing. She has no clue. Okay. You have ladies making like, 60 grand, 70 grand. There are arenas full, guys, that are not Caitlin Clark games. They're not Indiana Fever games. It could be a Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm game in Seattle or in Phoenix, full house. Okay, so this is not just a Caitlin Clark thing. She has been huge for the Dub, no question about it. But she's not the only thing. Think about last year, guys. She played 13 games. 13. Drove me crazy. She had 4 different injuries to 4 different body parts, and she got re-injured with a different injury on her rehab and her ramp up. Okay, so that's a whole nother thing. But she played 13 games last year, and the Dub was on fire the whole year. Okay, so Kathy Engelbert and her greed are trying to ruin the WNBA. You have Unrivaled. They're already paying these ladies tons more. Nafisa Collier is involved with the leadership of Unrivaled. Okay, Paige Becker's just signed with them. And then you have, as Correa was talking about, this Nneka Ogwumike news. By the way, the WNBA Players Association president, has signed with Project B, a new women's professional basketball league set to launch in November of 2026. Project B players will receive an undisclosed salary plus an equity stake in the league, which is what the Dub players want, but Kathy Engelbert doesn't want to give it to them. Project B league officials have stated that the 66 players across 6 teams will earn higher salaries than those currently offered in the WNBA, with a potential WNBA lockout looming. Guys, a lockout is a lock. I know they've extended the deadline. These ladies are not acquiescing until they get what's theirs. They have now 3 different options. Unrivaled, you have this Plan B thing, and you also have the overseas stuff. They don't need the Dub. Kathy Engelbert feels like they need the Dub, but they don't. And she's got to get her act together. I send it out to you guys. I've talked enough.
Rick, this is the issue right here. In the NBA, I believe the BRI is a 51-49 split, if not a 50-50 split. In the WNBA, it's a 9-91 split. The players only get 9% of the basketball-related net revenue currently right now in the WNBA, and I think that's the sticking point. The women are smart here. They're not trying to get paid as much as the men, although they would love to be in the same boat as the men are currently in the NBA. But all they want is a fair piece of the pie. And right now, that pie is so uneven in regards to the league and the ownership, and that's where the players have an issue. I commend. It's difficult for me to, go against what Nafisa Collier said. Yes, she was coming off a tough loss. They complained about a foul at the end of the game that Aisha Thomas may have done in their loss in that series on their way to the WNBA final. But again, to come from a position of power the way Nafisa Collier did, with the understanding that her husband is heavily involved with the rivaled league, Unrivaled, she felt that it was necessary to come out with those comments. And again, I'm with you. I think a strike is inevitable, although this deadline has been extended. When it comes down to money, this is where it is right now in the WNBA. Of course, the WNBA has improved in terms of its attendance. They've had the best year of their league's existence. So we have to commend them on that. But again, until the players feel they get what they deserve, again, I repeat, a 9-91 split. Currently, that's not going to fly. I don't blame the players for coming out and speaking against a commissioner that I don't know. But when you have those strong comments from across the league, something is not right at the top, and they feel that this is the best course of action in terms of a negotiating ploy to at least get the ball rolling and to get at least what they feel is a deserved split in the BRI situation going forward.
You guys know the most important word in sports is not loyalty, it's not passion, it's not aggressiveness. It's leverage. It's the most important word in sports. These ladies are creating leverage with these other leagues that they're creating and joining. They don't need the dub. Anyway, Brandon Armstrong, get in here, and then AM Pfeffer, you chime in too, man. What do you guys think about this?
Nah, you took the words right out of my mouth. The WNBA, these women, they now have leverage, something they didn't have in the past. For years, the only pro lane in the United States was the WNBA, but now they have these leagues like Unrivaled and Project B, where they're able to average way more money, between $1 to $2 million, and they're getting equity and on top of a global platform. So it's just not a message; it's more of letting Kathy know that, hey, we don't need you. You need us more than we need you, and I love it. Because the W's been around, I think, since 96, 97, if I'm correct, or a little bit. Yeah, and they're finally getting on that global level of respect, having these prominent women's players and getting their own shoe deals and creating their own lane now that they don't have to go overseas to just make a living, or just make a fraction of what a NBA player is making. So overall, I'm team WNBA on the women's side, not the commissioner side, and I'm hoping they get what they deserve. And I love how they're developing these other leagues to make more money and create pressure on the W. So Kathy, your days are numbered now. You better get it right. You better get with the sauce, or get left.
Her days are numbered. That cracked me up. All right, AM Pfeffer, your thoughts on the WNBA negotiations?
As much as it would suck for a holdout or a lockout as of November 30th of this year, in just a few weeks, it may have to happen. And it's the worst possible time for a league that is just coming into its own finally after 20 years, close to 30 years now of where we're at, and how great it's been the last couple of years and how much it is getting in. It would suck to see that. I mean, you've got 10 WNBA players with over 1 million followers right now. They do have the leverage. It is time to give them their due. It is time to change those splits, as Dwight Walton has illuminated for us. And certainly to bring this back to what Dennis was saying, show up, everybody. Go to the games. It absolutely matters that you have to see them live, whatever the television contracts may be, however many people are watching on ESPN, however many times SportsCenter leads with a story. Show up to the games. It's going to make a big difference, and people should be showing up. This is a great product.
We are, ladies and gentlemen, Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. No Dr. Phil today, but we got you. We got Dennis. We got B-Dot, AM Pfeffer, Dwight Walton, your boy Cam. Let's go, baby. We got Jason and Kai behind the glass. Let's talk some hoops, guys. Let's move on to the Knicks Wolves game from Wednesday. Not going to spend really any time on that. It was funny. Doc's a huge Knicks fan. I'm a medium Wolves. I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan like Doc. I mean, he goes to all the games and he just bleeds orange and blue. I'm a Wolves fan. Okay. A little bit lower level. Anyway, so I was happy that his team took the win. Anthony Edwards not good in this game. Came back from the injury, 15 points, shot 5 of 13, but he's back from this hamstring. The question is, and Dennis Scott, I want you to go first. Is Anthony Edwards enough of a killer?
Right now today, no. I'm very disappointed, if I'm being honest. Anthony Edwards is Hollywood right now. I'm just keeping it in the buck. The kid I watched when he was 15 years old, that was trying to figure out his life and all the stuff that's been well documented that he's been through, he's losing some of that killer instinct.
Hey, DZ, super quick. You knew him in Atlanta coming up, right? Correct. As a team, yeah, and you've been here the whole time with him, right?
I know Anthony Edwards' story better than most. Myself, Steve Smith, we know his story. I don't want to get into the personal side. It's well documented about his mom, grandmom, and his sister being his guardian. He was if you go back and watch the first couple years, he was a straight assassin. I mean, assassin. Everything was attack the rim, dunk on you, put you in the rim, everything, live at the free throw line. Now, I understand you work on your game, you want to add the three-point shot, You work on your game, you want to add the mid-range, but there's certain superstars in our league. You never lose sight on what made you who you are. Very similar to with SGA. Oh, shoot more threes. SGA is like, man, forget about it. I'll shoot the occasional three when I need to. I'm the mid-range assassin. DeMar DeRozan, his whole career, he's in what year, 19 or whatever it is, DeMar DeRozan? He's still the mid-range assassin. Do what you do. So, Rick, I'm answering your question and for the panel. And I know the other night, Dwight, you and I went back and forth on Luka and Ant-Man. Right now today, you are winning because right now today, Ant-Man is not playing with that assassin mentality, that new contract, the product contract, the Sprite commercials. Right now today, no, Rick, he's not an assassin.
Rick, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Rick.
All right, pardon me with that. Dwight Walton, is Anthony Edwards enough of a killer?
You know what? I don't think anything has changed with Anthony Edwards, fellas. I just think because the North American media are so concerned with who the next face of the NBA is going to be, and there is some bias in that to where they want it to be an American player as opposed to a global player or an international player. I think Victor Wembanyama is slowly but surely going to take that mantle, that torch, if you will, going forward. But because of the comparisons to Michael Jordan, because of the comparisons to Kobe Bryant, we have this expectation of Anthony to be like those two iconic players. And because currently he is injured, it's out of sight, out of mind. I think he's still the same killer. He has worked on his game. He's trying to improve on being a three-level scorer, which is why he's gone to the three ball more. He watched tapes of Michael Jordan this offseason to improve his inside the three-point line, quote-unquote, mid-range game, and he'll always be able to finish at the rim as he has proven time and time again over the course of his career over the past several years. His teams have gotten to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 seasons, I believe. So, listen, he is nursing a hamstring injury right now. He did play against the Knicks on Wednesday night. He is questionable for his game tonight. Maybe he rushed back because it was a national televised game and it was in the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden, and he wanted to play in that game. But I think we need to be careful. He'll always be a killer. I don't think he'll ever lose that. But again, does he need to improve in his screen roll reads? Does he need to improve defensively? All of those things, of course. But I think he still has that killer mentality, and he's just right now in the genesis of trying to improve his overall game to get to the level of a Michael Jordan and a Kobe Bryant. And to, I think what he already has is to maintain that killer mentality. He's not on Luka's level yet, but I think he's definitely a killer when he's on the basketball court.
AM, is that man enough of a killer?
Yeah, I'm with you, Dwight. He absolutely is. He's enough of an assassin. He's enough of a killer. He's still got it. I mean, what are we? We're fresh into the season, 8-9 games in. He was hurt a little bit. I'm not so worried about him so much. I'm more worried about the bench of the Wolves. You're going to see Anthony Edwards throughout the season elevate his game, come up big in plenty of times. But what's going on the bench right now, Rob Dillingham looks like a miss. Terrence Shannons Jr., Bones Highland, even Mike Conley, the ageless Mike Conley, it's just not getting it done right now. This team's 4-4. Julius is playing well. The big men are playing well. McDaniels is doing what he can to get this done. I'm not worried about Ant Edwards. Ant Edwards has it in him. You're going to see it. He has brought his team to the Western Conference Finals the past couple of games. He's going to be fine come playoff time. Clearly, they want to be a top 4 team when that time comes, and we'll see what comes of that. But, the Wolves themselves are just not off to the right start this year.
B-Dot, is that man enough of a killer?
100% to me. Yeah, he still got that dog in him. You can see it every time he steps on the floor. The confidence, the swagger, the energy. That's not fake. It's real competitive, DNA. Like, now, can he be more aggressive? Absolutely. Sometimes he settles for 3. I mean, like, bro, you built like a linebacker with a first step of Ja. Attack the paint more, live in that mid-range. But, that comes with time and maturity. All right, like he literally just came back from an injury, and you know he even said himself he's going to focus on that mid-range game more this year. That's growth talk, you know. That's what killers do, you know, when they start thinking the game and not just playing it. We got to remember, man, Ant's only 23 years old. You know, people act like he's supposed to have the same poise of a 10-year vet. Like, let him develop. Once he locks into that shot selection, stops settling, starts punishing, we going to be talking about a real problem like we was before. So, in my opinion, he's still a killer. He just ain't fully realized it yet. But that mindset, the aura, the fire, that's already there. You don't need to teach that. Just let it evolve. And still, we're not even 15 games in the season, man. So, we know how Ant can get. We know how far he's taken his team. And, you know, we're really going to see how mature and how developed he is with the team he has this year, because they're not as talented as they were before previous years, or they haven't gotten better as they were previous years. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to, you know, take that load and try to move on to the next step. But in my mind, he's absolutely a killer. Michael Myers, all of them. Freddy Cougar, the list go on. You feel me? You got to Dennis. You know he an Atlanta boy. All right, you know it's just how it is, man. It's gonna take a little while for him to get that serious level of maturity, but I think it'll come sooner or later. He's starting to realize he ain't sagging his pants as much either. So it's coming. It's coming.
You guys are awesome. So we have 5 panelists here today. Me, DZ, B-Dot, and AM and Dwight. DZ went first. He's the first piece of bread. You guys are the peanut butter and jelly, and I don't know, maybe a little mayo squirted in there. I don't know, kind of gross. And I'm the other piece of bread. What I'm saying is, I agree with DZ, and I love the points you guys made, but I don't agree with you guys. Right now, Ant-Man is not enough of a killer. And I agree with DZ. I've seen this with many, many, many players. And unfortunately, right now, Jimmy Butler's about to catch a stray. But Jimmy Butler went Hollywood, okay? He went Hollywood. That's how you go from 2 trips to the finals to falling out with Pat Riley. It's because Jimmy Butler tricked off 2 regular seasons in a row. Just didn't feel like playing. I'll meet you in the playoffs. That ain't going to fly with Pat Riley, okay? It ticked off Pat Riley. And then Jimmy Butler was talking when he was hurt, right? And saying, oh, man, we'd have beat those teams. We'd have beat those teams. And Pat Riley was saying, dude, if you're not playing, shut up, basically. All right? And so that was the end of that. And now Jimmy's with Golden State and kind of rebuilding the thing. And I like the Golden State version of Jimmy Butler, okay? I do. He's playing hard again. He looks like Jimmy Butler again. But Jimmy went Hollywood. And, Doc, a lot of commercials and a lot of fame and movie roles and a lot of stuff was coming at Jimmy in that period where playing on a Tuesday night against Sacramento became less important, okay? Ant-Man last year, explosion of television commercials, absolute explosion. And here's the thing with Ant-Man. I believe he will eventually become enough of a killer. He's 24 years old in 94 days. I just looked it up. B-Dot, I thought he was 23. I just looked it up. Nope, he's recently turned 24. Okay, 24. He ain't 26, 27, 28. Usually that zone where guys start winning chips, right? SGA, 26 when he won his chip. That's 2 years out from Ant-Man. I could see Ant-Man winning a championship in 2 years. I can't see him winning it now. He's not enough of a killer. So hopefully he went Hollywood. All right, you're making all this money. You got all this fame and mansions and women and blah, 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 blah. Good for you, by the way. Okay, and then I think he's going to get more serious. He just needs to get more serious. Little goofy, he's a little go with the flow right now and just maybe a little youthful. I don't want to like say immature. He's not immature, but a little youthful, right? He just hasn't lived enough years to have the trauma from losing and the heartbreak from losing, and he kind of rolls off him right now, right? You've lost 2 straight West Finals. You were on the brink of the NBA Finals. You lost both. I didn't really feel the pain from Ant-Man, okay? Like he's got, like Nick Saban always used to say in Alabama, you got to embrace the suck. That's how you get better, right? And I don't think Ant-Man's done that. I just think, oh man, we lost. We'll come back and get him next year. You know, let's go to the club tonight. And again, I don't hate that mindset, but if you want to win a championship, that's not the mindset you got to have. Like if Kobe loses a West Finals or if Jordan loses in East Finals, their whole offseason sucks. Like every day they're in the lab chopping wood, thinking about, man, I could have done this differently. I just don't think Ant-Man's there. mentally that way. So guys, if he's ready, let's bring in Brendan Haywood right now. And we got a little NBA TV reunion going on. If B is ready, do we have Brendan, or are we still kind of getting him fired up here? All right, you guys let me know. I thought we had Brendan, but maybe we don't just yet. Okay, he hasn't fallen in yet. But all right, so we're going to have Brendan Haywood on, DZ, and I'm excited to get him on. I'm excited for what's next for you, obviously, here at X-Rated Sports Network. You've got the gig with the ACC Network and the ESPN thing. He'll be working with Wes Durham. Brendan Haywood, DZ, I don't know if you saw this. He's got a 10-pack of games that he'll be doing play-by-play. Of course, Drew Gooden's their main analyst, and B Wood's going to be doing 10 games for the Wizards this year, man. That's awesome.
No, I'm happy for B Wood. He's one of my favorite. We always talk about having, the big man alliance. So I love every time working with B Wood. We challenge each other the right way. And it's kind of like, very similar to why I've already fallen in love with AM. It's like, I love guys that make me think outside the box. Because remember that word I used to hate back in the day, Rick, called perspective, because we all got a perspective because we all set on it, right?
Right.
So, but that's one thing. You got that. There you go. But that's why I love B Wood, because he makes me think every time we work together. That's why I love you. That's why I love this show.
All right, so let's keep it moving. We'll get B Wood when we get B Wood. He texted me that he's good for 3, and we'll get him when he can make this work. Let's move on. I'm excited for this topic, guys. I want to talk Russell Westbrook.
Rick.
What up?
One little insight. We got it before we move on from Ant. I know y'all always want to compare these players to Jordan, and this is what Kobe wouldn't do. This is what Jordan. It's a different day and age. We're not going. It's very minimal, if any, players that still have that Jordan and Kobe in them, or that type of perspective. We don't even we got. I know it sucks for you guys. I know it sucks for us in general, but we might just have to come to a realization that these new guys, they handle stuff different ways. And we're not saying Ant was not in the summer chopping wood and doing it. He still got to make his bread. He still got to keep his appearance up if he's going to even get to that level of financially where Jordan and Kobe was. So like I said, let's not act like Ant's not a killer and he hasn't sent 4-5 Hall of Famers packing in the playoffs. The KDs, the Devin Bookers, the LeBron James, the Anthony Davis. You feel me? Like let's fall back on him a little bit, okay? That's it. We can move on. We can move. Players don't have that hunger like the Kobe's and Jordans did. We might got to just come to a realization with that. So let's go. Go ahead and move on.
Let's stay on this for a minute. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing, though. There are throwback players in today's game. And I think SJ is a throwback player. His conditioning he's the best conditioned player in the NBA. Like him and Steph are the two best conditioned guys. And SGA plays both ends. He brings it every night. He scores 30 every night. Is he a direct comp to Jordan and Kobe? Of course not. But I still think there are throwback guys. SGA's gotten there mentally. He's figured this out. And like I said, I think Ant-Man's going to get there. I'm giving him grace. I'm just calling it what it is right now on November 7th, 2025. He's not enough of a killer to win a championship. But I can't guarantee it, but I do see a championship for Ant-Man. I do see him getting serious, and I do see him connecting the dots to this. Guys, one more stat. Ant-Man last year took 10.3 threes. 10.3. Way too many, right? He's down to 6.5 this year. Okay, that is a nice improvement. He's dropped his 3 balls by 4 per game. We all wanted to see that, and he's done that. All right, let's move on here to Russell Westbrook and Jason and Kai.
Can I?
Pardon me, Dennis. I'm moving on too quickly here. Yes, go around the table here. Let's keep talking about this.
Well, I like B-Dot's point, and I just want to add one more thing to it before we move on. When you go look at every last champion in the last 10 years, go look at the star of that team, to B-Dot's point. So you go back to the Celtics, we nitpicked Jason Tatum and JB. Should we break that team up? but every year they got better and better than they wanted. The Joker got better and better than he wanted. Steph Curry got better, won it, lost it, got better, won it again. Toronto, that was quick for Dwight. They made a tough decision. They got better. They added the Kawhi Leonard. They won it. So I think that, to me, to your question with Ant-Man, right now, the question now, we're not talking about a month from now. We're not talking about 2 years from now. We're talking about right now, today, to answer your question. I don't see that killer instinct. SGA has come back from winning a championship. Some people said shoot more threes. Some people said this. SGA is staying consistent to who he is again, and his team is 8-1.
But he
It's
also
my
has the
nickname
better
for him,
team.
DZ.
He also
Mr.
has the better
Consistent.
team, and he also has the ball in his hands 74% of the time. Ant is a shooting guard. Bro, we gotta. It's not just all on this one person. Let's look at this team. Let's not act like this OK team defensively. It's not a great
team
team.
that wins the B-Dot, every team that wins it every year is the team, but the superstar always gets the credit.
I mean,
All right, guys,
100%. Okay, let's go ahead and move on because
let's keep the combo going, but we got to welcome.
We got the big man alliance in the building. Yes.
Oh man, we got a footer in here. We got an NBA champion in here, Brendan Haywood. What's up?
Scoot the camera back.
Hey, man,
I can see what you're thinking through your nose.
I didn't know this was a FaceTime.
looking good, B Wood. Thanks for joining us, man.
Man, they ain't even let me know, man. I'm all in the car, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is gonna be a phone call, man. Y'all done tricked me, man. Rick, y'all done tricked me.
Well, hey, B Wood, we're on a great debate right now, man. Is Ant-Man enough of a killer right now? Is he enough of a killer for you? Me and Dennis say no. The other three panelists say yes.
Yeah, he's enough of a killer. Man's been to the 2 Western Conference Finals, and he's probably not even, 25? Yeah, he's enough of a killer. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, B. Wood. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, the problem is Ant enough of a killer? The problem is he a good enough playmaker, or do they need to find a playmaker? Ant can hit clutch shots, but who gonna get everybody else involved? There's a difference between a playmaker and a scorer. KD's a scorer, but when he won, he had playmakers around him. You know, like certain guys like LeBron and Luka, they're playmakers. They choose whatever the night's gonna be. It can be 20 assists, it could be 40 points. Ant's a scorer. He's not a playmaker. They need to find a playmaker because Mike Conley's getting older. And when Mike Conley's not on that court, it looks a little wild out there sometimes. It looks a little discombobulated. Julius Randle, he's a scorer. They have scorers. They need a playmaker. But Ant is enough of a killer. He just needs a better playmaker around him.
Yo, B. Wood, hold on. Okay, now, you've gone my direction. Do you think the Timberwolves should make a play for disgruntled superstar Ja Morant?
I mean, if they could, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't know if they can actually get that done. I'm not sure what that would look like, what that would entail. But if they can get Ja Morant, they should absolutely do it. I understand Ja comes with some risk for some of the behavior that's happened, but sometimes the risk is worth the reward. And if you're Minnesota, that backcourt will be scary hours for the rest of the Western Conference.
B. Wood, it is great to hear your voice, man, and see you. I'll take the L. I don't think I made it clear enough that this is going to be a video thing, so I'll take the L on that, B. Wood. Don't be mad at me, man. Don't be mad at me, man. Remember all the great setups at NBA TV, the equity, B. Wood, the equity. All right, B. Wood, I got to congratulate you, man, on this gig you got with the Wizards. You're going to be calling 10 games with the great Chris Miller this year. Talk to us about that, man.
It was just a great opportunity. One of those things that just happened to line up. Obviously, me being an ex-Wizard, Drew Gooden does an excellent job calling games, but he can't call all the games. And so some of the games that he had left over just happened that it would work out for my schedule, and it all came together. I think it's going to be very fun.
Well, we're excited for you, man. We're excited for you. B. Wood, what about these Bulls, man? the game against Philly the other night, they come down from 24. You got Giddy with the DZ, I thought of you, by the way, from a Summer League play-by-play. We called a Spurs-Wizards game that was crazy. And there was a huge shot by Glenn Rice Jr., baseline drive, baseline drift. And that was the play that they ran, right? Giddy went down, zipped it into the corner for Vucevic for the three. Exactly. But B-Wood, what do you think about these Bulls, man?
Man, I think the Bulls are a very good team. They're young, they're exciting, they're moving the ball, they're equal opportunity. I think they're a playoff team. Do I think they're going to make a lot of noise in the Eastern Conference? Not at the end of the day, but I think you're starting to see some of their younger players really pay off, get better, and you're starting to see some of these young guys are starting to figure it out, and that's what it's all about. When you're in a rebuild, you want to slowly but surely see your young guys that you put equity into get better and better, and as they improve, they raise the tide of the team, and then you start seeing your team play well, and you start seeing basically the fan base reap the benefits of the rewards of watching through those hard times.
Well, B. Wood, we've had this conversation when he was a rookie, and I know you and I like movies, and I love scary movies. But this new movie that's out in San Antonio called The Wendy Alien Effect, what would you do? How much sleep would you get if you knew you had to try to slow down that alien in San Antonio?
Well, listen, man, one-on-one, you're not guarding that guy. Like, it's just and the thing is, he's 25, 26 points per game a night. And DZ, you know this, he ain't even got it all figured out yet. Like, he don't have his go-to moves yet. Like, he's putting it all together, and he's already 25 points per game. So I don't know what I would do to stop him, especially in today's game with the pick and roll, how he's picking and popping, knocking down shots, the exquisite handle. The only way to stop him is kind of similar to what happened to him when he played against the Lakers in Phoenix. You got to use that same coverage that OKC and the Lakers both used on Jokic, and you got to use that on Wemby until the Spurs figure it out. Playing with a smaller guy, get underneath him, crowd him, front him, force him to play in a lot of clutter, not a lot of space. And that Spurs team has a lot of young guys on it. See if those young guys figure out where they need to be, because it's almost low-key like a triple team. And we saw that it threw the Denver Nuggets off in the playoffs against the Thunder. Right. Like who they put on? They put I can't think of Buddy's name with the headband on him. They put him on Jokic Caruso. He got underneath him, and then they just started doubling and tripling him, teaming him from all over, and it threw Jokic off a little bit. We've seen that throw Wemby off in the last couple of games. That's the only way I've seen to guard him.
Go ahead, Dwight. Go, Dwight.
To your point, B. Wood, the Lakers started Marcus Smart on Wembanyama the other night. And to further the point, I think he's discouraged by all the physical pressure that he's being under. The scouting report is out. He does not like physical pounding. It takes a toll on his body, particularly when it comes down the stretch in the fourth quarter. And just it's going to be the natural progression, evolvement over time, where his body's going to physically mature and he's going to get stronger. But what I would like to see, listen, we all understand that he has the perimeter skills. His skill set is unique. That's why he's called the unicorn. To be 7'5" and to be able to do all the things with that basketball is tremendous. But what I would love to see him do, and I guess this is the old school in me, take his man to the low block, have a jump hook over either shoulder, and even if he went to Hakeem Olajuwon during the offseason to work on his footwork, he should look into going to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and using the skyhook, the most unstoppable shot in basketball history. At his size and his attention to detail and his work ethic, I think if he incorporated the skyhook or some form of hook into his game, as you said, B. Wood, he's averaging 25 per game right now and hasn't even figured everything out yet. You put the jump hook or the sky hook into his repertoire, I think it's lights out for the next 5, 10, 15 years, rest of his career. And the NBA will be brought and scared.
Hey, the sky hook's crazy, bro. You can't bring. Hey, we ain't seen the sky hook since the 80s, bro. The sky hook would be crazy. At 7'6" for Wemby. Yeah. I do think every big man scorer should have a jump hook. It's just an easy way to get off inside. Like you run the court, quick seal inside, get to a little jump hook, and I've seen him do that at times. He could do it a lot more. To your point, I love the handles. I love all the handles, but I believe in simplifying your portfolio. You win with the simple, and then you pull out all the other stuff. So like as far as right now, like sometimes in the mid post, he's still trying to figure it out. Like, hey, figure out your jab step series, your like your bump fades, your counters off of that. Obviously, a little bit of jump hook in the lane. I think those things are actually more important for somebody of his size than the actual dribbling. I think the dribbling's cool and makes the fans love him. But when we're talking about winning a playoff series, how many times is somebody, if you're 7'6", what's more important, the Dirk fadeaway jumper, the bump fade, or the tween step back Jamal Crawford dribble? Like, what you gonna win with?
Hey, B Wood.
At 7'6", the tween ain't gonna get it in the playoff series. It's cool in transition, but you ain't gonna win because of the tween. Whoever told you that lied to you.
Hey, B Wood, is the sky hook not cool? Is that why it's gone away? Remember, Shaq said he's not.
It's hard to learn. Like it's hard to learn. Like the jump hook is easy to learn. The sky hook, yo, that's a hard shot.
What's the difference between learning the jump hook and learning the sky hook? Take us into the mechanics of the difference of that.
The sky hook takes way more touch, and it's so much harder to master. That's why when you think of the sky hook, you think of just Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When you think of the jump hook, you think of a lot of people. Hell, I couldn't score at a gym by myself, and I had a jump hook. You know what I'm saying? You can teach, because the jump hook is all about timing, touch. It's almost like teaching a guard a floater. That's how you teach a jump hook to a certain degree. And once you get that down with your dominant hand, it becomes easy. Like I was on a basketball court with my stepson. He was amazed that I could still hit a jump hook from like the free throw line. I was like, yo, that muscle memory just don't go away.
All right, I got a quick question, if I may. Brandon, I got a question for you. Here we go. A little revisionist history. Earlier this year, I'm setting up fantasy basketball for a quick second. I had the number 1 pick in the draft, okay? And I went Jokic. And I feel like I've been vindicated the past couple of games with Wemby falling off. But I got a little side eye. I could tell watching the video while I'm doing the draft. Everybody's like, whoa, you didn't take Wembanyama this year? And obviously in the first 6 or 7 games, maybe I didn't look like I made the smartest move. But all of a sudden, Jokic, look at his game the other night. I mean, it is absurd what his triple-double looked like. I want to ask you a question. Knowing what you know now and where Wembanyama has been in the past couple of games, how he struggled a little bit more, and Jokic is stepping into it, and he's obviously averaging a very strong triple-double, who would you take with the number 1 pick this year?
See, I play fantasy football. I don't really play fantasy basketball, so I don't know, is the defense taken into account?
Oh, yeah. Blocks and steals, yes. Baby.
Oh, yeah.
They're the 2 most important stats, B. Wood.
Oh, man, Jokic averaging 4 blocks a game. I mean, not Jokic. Wemby averaging 4 blocks a game. I would have went with Wemby.
That's what I'm talking about. I
don't know much about it. If blocks are important, the guy that's blocking 4 shots a game, like you see 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks. You probably ain't seen 4 blocks since Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, and Dikembe and Zoe and Hakeem and all those guys, man. You got to go back for the 4. Dikembe Mutombo, right? I don't even think Dwight Howard ever averaged 4 blocks a game. He might have been in the 3s. But I mean, Dwight was a fantastic shot blocker. Hey, B-Wood, man, we really appreciate. Unless you guys have another question, we'll let B-Wood go. Anybody got a question?
I got one more question. Hey, listen, B-Wood. As we said at the top, you're going to be doing several Wizards games this season. My godson, Keyshawn George, plays for the Washington Wizards, and he's gotten himself off to a pretty good start at the beginning of the season. He has, come back to earth, so to speak. Once the scouting report on him gets around the league, that's where we're going to see growth in his game. Can you talk a little bit about Keyshawn George and his start to the season with the Washington Wizards?
I like George. He's smooth. He competes at both ends. That's important for a young player. He competes defensively. Offensively, he's coming into his own. He's showing a lot more confidence, and he's hitting his jumper a lot better than he did at the beginning of his rookie year. So now that jumper is really starting to show. You can see he has a lot more confidence. My only thing for Keyshawn would be stay away from the foul. Sometimes he gets a little handsy. In the Wizard game that I called, he actually picked up two like really silly fouls back to back, put him on the bench. He started the game off really strong, but those fouls put him on the bench. Orlando goes on a run and the team never recovers. He has to understand he's very important for that team. And very important players sometimes have to let certain fouls go because they understand their presence on the court is more important than that one possession.
Hey, B Wood, on the way out, I got to have a little fun with you, man. So I'm in B Wood's fantasy football league. It's a dynasty league. He's in my fantasy football league, which is also a dynasty league. And for those that you don't, dynasty means you keep your players. You don't draft a new team every year. That's your squad. It's like real GMing, okay? So a couple of weeks ago in my league, I was teetering on my season going into tank mode, and I was playing B Wood. And the reason my team's a little weird this year is it's a 2-quarterback league, and I only have one quarterback, Jared Goff. So Jared Goff was on bye, all right, and I had Cooper Rush. Well, I was at the beach on Saturday. They named Tyler Huntley the starter. B Wood picks up Tyler Huntley to take him away from me. I start somebody, and I got a 0 at QB. And I beat B Wood anyway. And I'm not flexing or gloating. And now I've won another game, and now I'm 5-4. What I'm telling B Wood, who is a perennial contender in my league, I ain't dead yet. You guys did not kill Dracula. I may come back and do this.
Hey man, listen, man, you're never out of it until you're out of it. You know, that's how it go. My team is out of it now that Cam Scatterboo got his ankle broken, man. Rest in peace, Cam Scatterboo. He was doing great for me.
Oh, poor dude.
He was doing great for you, man. Man, you ain't done. You got some other heavy hitters, dude. Come on.
I don't like it.
Because you lost your heart and soul. Is that what you're saying? He was the spirit animal of your team. Is that what you're saying?
Cam Scatterboo was the heart and soul of our ball club, man. Right now, we just out there. We finishing out the season, man. We're gonna finish out.
Oh wow! You're just going through the motions, right? Well, I sense a little sandbagging in there too. I know B Wood ain't going out like that.
All right, Rick. Appreciate you.
All right, B Wood. Thank you, man.
Good to see you, big guy.
Brendan Haywood joining the show. I'm not sure he was a huge fan of me bringing up that win. No, I'm telling you guys, it was like I beat him without a QB. My season was on the line. I'm like, all right, if I win, I'm going to stay in it. If I lose, I'm going to go into tank mode. And I beat him. And now, as Kevin Garnett once said, anything is possible, or whatever he said. Hey, we're beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network here. Rick Kamla, Dennis Scott, Brandon Armstrong, a.k.a. B-Dot, Dwight Walton, and we have A.M. Pfeffer as well. Big old crew here today. Shout out to Dr. Phil. He's under the weather here today. That's why he's not joining us, in case you're wondering. Jason and Kai, please have the Russell Westbrook video ready. I'm going to throw to that here in a second. Guys, I want to get into a Russell Westbrook conversation with you guys. Is he the most disrespected player of all time? I know it's big and verbose and stuff, but I think it's legit, and I can't wait to hear what you guys say about this. Is Russell Westbrook the most disrespected player of all time? Wednesday, okay? He's 52 years old, all right? He went 23, 16, and 10. What? And his numbers have been fantastic this year with Sacramento. So, guys, if you're ready, let's play his sound after that game, and after passing Jason Kidd is the most rebounds for a guard in NBA history. Take a listen.
What's kind of your secret in being able to kind of impact plays like that? Oh man, humbly speaking, I'm the best rebounding guard ever. So when the ball come across the rim, I'm gonna get it. What's kind of
motor, drive, hustle, want to, all that stuff. So the top rebounding guards of all time, Westbrook's at 87.34, Kidd is at 87.25, then Oscar Robertson is at 78.04. So you can't really debate that he's the best rebounding guard of all time. Now the stats say it. I believe, and I want to tip this off, guys, I believe that Russell Westbrook's the most disrespected player in NBA history. Calling him Westbrook Such a joke, so disrespectful. All the stuff that fans are trying to do to him, it's beyond disrespectful. All the trades, okay, all the traveling that he's had to do, all the false narratives. He's chasing stats. He had an agreement with Steven Adams and Enes Kanter and OKC so he could get rebounds and all those triple doubles. What a bunch of vomit, okay? He's a bad teammate. DZ will tell every single teammate that's ever been with Russell Westbrook loves him, okay? So that's some stupid media fan narrative that's not true. You can't win a ring with Russ, right? People have been saying that for years. That's also bullcrap. The fact that the league made Russ wait until training camp to get a veteran minimum contract is disrespectful. Russ should be making at least $15 million a year, okay? That's Dennis Schroeder money. That's Nikola Jovic money. Who would you rather have, Nikola Jovic or Russell Westbrook at $15 million a year? It's a joke. This is Russ's third straight year of making the veteran minimum. Third straight year. Look at his numbers. They're at least 10 to 15 million, maybe even 20 per year, okay? And Russ Westbrook is on the Mount Rushmore of 4 different Mount Rushmores, guys. Rebounding guards, playing hard and motor, triple doubles, and stat guys. He's on 4 Mount Rushmores, yet fans and media and people around the league are just turned off on this guy. So, Dennis Scott, is Russell Westbrook the most disrespected player of all time?
That's a great. If I may, I'm gonna use the word misunderstood, because the first one that irritates me the most is that the teammate one. So whenever a media person or a casual fan or at a sports bar walking through the airport, whatever it may be, oh, Russell Westbrook, man, he's a bad teammate. Shut up. I literally say, shut up. You haven't done your homework. Russell Brick. Okay, I'll give you a break there because there's so many videos of him taking horrendous shots. I'll give you, no question about that. I'll give you that one. Russell Westbrook doesn't play hard. Up, shut up. So there's certain questions and narratives. I listen, and when it makes sense, I give them the benefit of the doubt. So the one that bothers me, the one that him and Kevin Durant go through, that you can't win with him. Why did Kevin Durant leave and go to watch Westbrook? Go to Golden State Warriors. That's a whole show within itself. But to your question, Rick, why did all 29 teams wait, knowing what Russell Westbrook brings to the table in the locker room, the leadership, being on time, just being a great teammate? I agree with you 1,000%. He shouldn't have waited to the last day to get picked up and now smeared in everyone's face of getting the triple-double he got the other night. So I'm going to use the word misunderstood versus disrespected, if I may. Pass it on to the next person. Go ahead, B-Dot. You're on mute.
I 100% agree. He's the most disrespected superstar ever, in my opinion. The man averaged a triple-double 4 times, 1 MVP, led the league in scoring and assists, played every game like it was last, never load managed, never ducked smoke, always gave 110%. But the moment he started missing a few shots, folks flip. Like, of course, like you said, like Dennis said, he's taking some horrible shots. But in his career, he's been the primary ball handler, and he's taken horrible shots in his career, but made them earlier. And then, when Luka and Jokic go out and get triple doubles, is historic. When Russ does it, it's stat padding. When he barks with passion, it's he has anger issues. No, it's competitiveness. Okay, he adjusted his game, came off the bench, took less money, mentored players, and people still found a way to hate on him. Okay, Russ ain't perfect. Let's be real. And the truth is, people don't know how to handle real ones in this era. Like I said, it's a whole different day and age now than it was. I don't even want to say back then because Russ ain't that old, but it's a different NBA. All right, he gave his everything to the game, and somehow that became a flaw. So yeah, he might not have the rings, but he got something better. That's respect from hoopers, not headlines, and that's forever. And he's always been not one of my, if not my favorite point guard, one of my point guards of all time outside of Jason Kidd. I believe he's a top 6 point guard of all time. Don't argue with me about it. Argue with your mama. Stats. You feel me? Russ is one of them. Russ is top 6, and the disrespect that he continues to get, he proves them wrong. And I'm always a Russ fan. I'm always going to be a Russ fan. And shout out to Sacramento for giving him that chance to continue to prove himself. And every time someone goes down, that starting point guard or that star goes down, he fills that void and does what he needs to do. When Jamal Murray went down last year, Russ filled that void to what he needed to do. No other bench point guard could have the impact that Russell Westbrook has had for these type of teams, especially in the West.
B-Dot, I love the point that you made about the willingness to accept a bench role. Allen Iverson was unwilling to do that. And we love AI, right? He was unwilling to take a bench role. In his career, he just had to retire because teams were like, we view you as a bench player. I talked to Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas. And he said, I said, man, 33, I think he retired. He was like, he told me I wasn't trying to hang around the league and become a bench player. He said, if I can't dominate, if I can't be, right there with the best point guards in the game, then I don't want to play. Isaiah Thomas told me that. So the fact that Russ is keeping the train on the tracks and all these different roles and iterations is phenomenal. He's turned into a better defender than he's probably ever been in his career. And so I want to get it over to AM. Sorry, I just wanted to drop that in. But is Russell Westbrook the most disrespected player in NBA history?
Yeah, and listen, I mean, you and I are 6 shows into working together, and I have learned I've really got to listen very specifically to what you're asking, and I think it's important to be this. Is he the most disrespected NBA player in history? And B-Dot, I love everything you said, but you set up what you said about him being the most disrespected NBA superstar in history. Yep, would agree with that. DZ, I agree with everything you said as well. But again, you're asking the question, is he the most disrespected NBA player in history? And the answer to that is no. Is he currently in the league the most disrespected player? Absolutely. That's an easy answer. But here's a guy who has an NBA MVP on his mantle, and he is a surefire Hall of Famer. Well, you know who isn't in the Hall of Fame? 2 guys who absolutely should be. And before I even tell you who they are, and maybe you guys are already thinking about who they are, or anybody watching is thinking about who they are, the NBA is different, or the Basketball Hall of Fame is different, right? Because it's an all-encompassing Hall of Fame. It's not like Major League Baseball, or it's not like the NFL. These are very high barrier to entry Hall of Fames to get into. The NBA is a little bit different. It's all-encompassing for basketball. 2 guys who are not in there. I mean, there was a long time, by the way, disrespected Dominique Wilkins until he finally got it in 2006, and he was highly disrespected for that. But I'm talking about Shawn Kemp, and I know what's happened to him personally in the past couple of years, but you look at who he was throughout the 90s, and I'm just literally get off his last 2 years in Portland and Orlando and what he was from 1991 to essentially 99 or even 2000 in the first couple years in Cleveland too, when he was an all-star his first year. And Tom Chambers, look at his numbers. If Tracy McGrady can be in the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame, and he never won anything, Shawn Kemp, Tom Chambers, pick your poison. Those are the 2 most disrespected guys in NBA history. And again, I hear what you're saying about Russell Westbrook, and he is absolutely disrespected in the NBA this year and for the past couple of years. And as far as the league is concerned, sure, put him in that category. But in NBA history, I'm still giving you Chambers and Kemp.
I love it, AM. Our show is beyond the surface. AM always goes beyond the surface. He zags when we zig. AM, you the man.
Yes.
All you guys rock,
AM
man.
as always, AM. Yes, sir, baby.
Dwight Walton. Dwight, I know you've been sitting there patiently. You've been processing. Hit me, man.
Come on, Mr. Canada. What you got, Mr. Canada?
But first of all, Rick, to your point about the show being beyond the surface, AM, I have to give you credit where credit is due. I would have never thought of Shawn Kemp and Tom Chambers. Thank you very much for bringing up those 2 names from the past. I think it's fantastic. But First of all, I want to agree with Cam's point about the blocking out by Enes Kanter, Steven Adams, and whomever else he played with. I'm in several group chats, and this comes up a lot. And it really bothers me when I hear people say, and they play basketball and they have knowledge for the game, but when they can literally say that Russell Westbrook's stat pads, I don't think people have to understand how difficult it is to get a rebound in the NBA when you're 6'10", let alone 6'3" or 6'2", whatever Russell Westbrook is. Respect due to him throughout his career to be the all-time leading rebounder, and I'm glad he said it with his chest the other night during the post-game press conference. He plays hard every night, doesn't cheat the game one bit, is going to give you the effort that the fans out there want to see. Is he the most disrespected NBA player of all time? I think he's in the conversation. Thanks to AM, he brought those two names into it. I think he's in the conversation. I don't think he is the most disrespected, but I think the issue with him not being signed by the other 29 teams in the NBA is an issue that I've had with him throughout his career. Is his style of play conducive to winning / championship basketball? Again, I am not questioning the effort. He doesn't cheat the game one bit. He's going to give you all that he has. And to average triple-doubles over the course of 4 seasons will go down in NBA history. As far as I'm concerned, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He deserves all of that. He will get in, no question about it. I just think the only issue with Russell is the question. Is his style of play conducive to winning? Is he efficient enough as a point guard? He's always going from 0 to 100. There's no slowdown in between. Did he need to work on that over the course of his career? That's how he's used to playing. It's hard to take that habit out of him. That's how he plays. Again, disrespected, he's in the conversation. Is his style of play, is the question I've had throughout his career, is it conducive to winning / championship basketball?
And that is fair analysis. That's not, as you were saying, just like taking heresy and he's chasing stats and all. It's just so wrong and so bogus. All right, let's move on here, guys. It is Beyond the Surface. Rick Kamla, Dennis Scott, Dwight Walton, Am Pfeffer, Brandon Armstrong. And Dwight, I went to you last time. I want to go to you first this time. And I know that in our group chat, you make frequent comments on this. We got to talk about Jaylen Brown, all right? And I love Jaylen Brown. DZ knows this. He's one of my absolute faves. He's a tough guy, man. I like Jaylen Brown. I want to be in a foxhole with Jaylen Brown, baby. All right. The question is, though, is Jaylen Brown committing a man law violation? All right. He certainly did not do that on Wednesday against Washington. He had 35 points in 26 minutes. He's been fantastic this year for Boston. But he continues to bum rush defenders with his head down, and he's leaving black stains on their jerseys all around the league. And Dwight Walton, there is quite a list of victims of the black whatever that's getting on their jerseys, man. So talk to me about this. Is he committing a man law? What is it?
Beijing.
Okay. There's Beijing all around the NBA. And you got guys who are like, I don't want Beijing on my jersey. Anyway, is this a man law violation?
And my godson, Keyshawn George, is Jaylen's latest victim. That's who he got on Wednesday against the Wizards. So, listen, I'm very up on this. I will say this. My late mother, God bless her, she's behind me right here in the picture. She told me, Dwight, when you start to go gray, embrace the grays, because the more you dye your hair, the grays come back stronger. Now I do, and listen, I've embraced mine. I think I look pretty good with it, quite frankly. But it's difficult for some people to, when they start losing their hair, when they start going gray, they have a sense of pride. They lose some of that self-esteem, if you will, and they feel that they have to use enhancements to make themselves feel better. And the reality is, I'm not so sure people out there truly care as to how people look. Of course, we're visible creatures and we want to look good, understand, but I think it's more internal than it is more external. And the reality is, it's become quite funny. Even Jaylen, over the last couple of days, has poked fun at himself by saying that AI is getting really wild out here. So he understands what has happened. He understands that these moments have gone viral. But again, to each their own. People want rather feel good than feel good. So they're going to do whatever it takes to enhance their look. And unfortunately for Jaylen Brown, he has left visual evidence on several uniforms, and I'm sure it's going to happen even more over the course of the season until he stops using that Beijing product. I find it funny, and it's so funny to the point to where it's not only us discussing it, it has gone viral, and everybody is discussing it, and especially for me, it got personal because my godson, Keyshawn George, was Jaylen's latest victim the other night.
That is incredible.
Oh, this is not an offensive foul. Oh, no.
There it is.
Brown got another victim. Right there.
Scalabrine said it. He said he got another victim.
I'm not sure.
I mean, this is a crack up, man. This is a crack up.
Can't make it up.
DZ, is this a man law violation?
Yes. Like Dwight said, come on home. It's okay. It's okay. Just come on home. It takes you 15 minutes. Hey, before I go on air, I grab my clippers, I go and get a fresh ball head, I line it on up, and you're good.
B-Dot, is this a man law violation?
Look, man, definitely a man line. Look, man, we got to talk about this, man. Look, Jaylen out here leaving autographs on people's jerseys, okay? Every time he drives, somebody walking away looking like they got hit with the Sharpie, okay? White jersey done. Gray jersey is black now, all right? Like, bro, are you hooping or you detailing cars, okay? You can't be using that much Beijing and then headbutting folks in the paint, all right? Players out here playing defense in white tees coming out looking like they've been working at Jiffy Lube, okay? Okay, he out here committing a man law violation. Section 4, Article Fade. Thou shalt not stain another man's jersey with your hairline, okay? Jaylen, we love you, dog. But it's time to let it go, all right? Either lock the spray with the Gorilla Glue or just embrace the ball king, all right? We can't have brothers out here rocking permanent smudges mid-game, all right? That's my take on Jay, man.
Hold on a second. Did you say
man.
section 4, Article Fade? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Section
Article
4, Fade, okay? Thou
Dude, that's
shalt not
brilliant.
use in the hairline, black smudge
That is.
from the hairline.
Oh my God. Hey, put me on a single shot. I got to show you something. I don't know if you're gonna see it. I have tears rolling down the sides of my cheeks. I do. You can't see it right now. B-Dot, you made me cry. Literally, tears are coming out of my eyes right now. I'm laughing so hard at you. B-Dot, you rock. AM Pfeffer, is this a man law violation?
Hey, I'm going to throw another AM zigzag at you all for a second. Sometimes to be a man is to be the man. And to be the man, IDGA, IDAGF, okay? This is a guy who is not only doubled down, he is quintupled down on this. He got caught last week. 2 weeks ago? The memes were out of control, right? And what does he do? He doesn't stop. He comes right back. He's still using the product. He's putting his head down. He doesn't care who he's staining out there. Good for you, Jaylen Brown. You are a true alpha. You are a true the man. And Rick Hamblin wants to get in the foxhole with you. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing and keep poking fun at yourself. I'm all for it. No man law violation here.
Don't wear a white shirt in that foxhole with him, Rick. All right, that's all I gotta say.
You come out looking like
Well, oh my God. Well played. B-Dot says he's out here signing autographs on their jerseys, man. B-Dot, you got some bars, man. You got bars, bro. So I'm gonna say, look, because I'm such a fan. One right here, OG Anunoby. He signed his jersey. DZ, what is with the bowing the head down thing, dude? that seems a little bit unnatural. Or, I mean, I know when you're driving, you're looking for torque and leverage and stuff like that, but he's really getting the head down there. Well, talk to me about that.
No, go look at a lot of the guys. Devin Booker does it a lot too. Guys have been doing it for years. Now, I'll take you back when Beijing first hit the scene, Rick. You and I was doing a fantasy show, and Carlos Boozer had one cut one day,
Yes.
the next morning he had a full head of hair, and the same
Yes,
thing happened.
I remember that. Didn't that go viral?
When the Beijing became national.
Who else, DZ? Oh God, I'm trying to think. So LeBron uses Beijing, right? I mean, he was trying to kind of.
Well, his I don't know what his is called, because when LeBron does that, it doesn't leave anything. So he must got some different versions of it.
Right. Well, he's a billionaire. He knows people. So that's all true. I'm just gonna.
Is different. I'm
gonna wrap this up. Phenomenal conversation, guys. I'm gonna say not a man law violation. Okay. Because this is my guy, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen, do you want to wear hair product? Do you want to sign autographs and smudge all these white jerseys around the league? Go ahead, dude. Do your thing. Jaylen Brown can virtually do no wrong with me. By the way, guys, killing it this year. He's 9th in scoring in the NBA. 27.7 points a game. 27.7. I told people without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown's going to go off. And he has. Now, how much are they going to win? They're 4-5 right now, but he's keeping them afloat. They're trying to hold it down until Tatum comes back. All right, let's move on here, guys, to another debate, and I like this one because this is a historical one. DZ, I'm going to come to you first on this, and Jason and Kai, please have the sound ready of Paul Pierce. We're going to play some sound here. This is Paul Pierce on a podcast saying why he's better than Wade, or maybe trying to convince us that, we should be more of a Wade guy or more of a Pierce guy than a Wade guy. Obviously, terrific rivals back in the 2000s, met all the time. The Boston-Miami rivalry is one of the great rivalries we've had in the last generation. And so here's Paul Pierce on the comparison with him and Dwayne Wade.
Like, all right, of course, D-Wade's a 3-time champion.
Yeah.
Finals MVP. I got a lot of more accolades.
That's what the resume is a little different.
Actually, but when I look at it, I think I was a more versatile player.
Sure.
Play more positions, could do a little more things out on the court.
More longevity.
More longevity, and I didn't have the luxury to play with a lot of Hall of Famers in my prime.
Yeah.
So. But no, shout out to D-Wade. He one of the greats. I ain't taking nothing away from him. It was just a question was.
So it's a good debate. And DZ, this has been a debate that's raged for 20 years here. All the battles, like I said. The question's really simple here. Who you rocking with? Okay, I love them both. Like, I literally love both of these guys, but on debate shows, it's not a love fest. You gotta pick a side. All right. So Paul Pierce or Dwayne Wade, who you rocking with, DZ?
Ooh. Man, this might be the toughest one, because I'm with you. I love both. I go back to let's say like this. Paul Pierce was let's go all the way back to, because we live in today's era of high school AAU, that Paul Pierce was a household name in AAU basketball coming out of California. Then he goes, well, how the hell does a kid from Inglewood go all the way to Kansas? So process that for the basketball heads. So that lets you know that he was really, really, sought after. Then D-Wade was in a small suburb trying to figure out who he was next to Chicago, ends up at Marquette as a late bloomer, right? Paul Pierce, so now D-Wade goes kaboom as a nobody, goes to the Final Four, and now he's on the scene. Get into the NBA, Paul Pierce blows up right away, and then Paul Pierce's point, didn't D-Wade win his championship with an Asian Shaq and an Asian Alonzo Mourning when he won his first championship?
Gary Payton.
Antoine Walker, White Chocolate.
Right, so it's like, I was like, he must didn't do his homework on that when he made that comment. So, I paint that picture to say, if I had to choose one for this show today, I'm going with Wade County.
All right, AM Pfeffer, you're next. Who you rocking with, the Flash or the Truth?
It's a really good question, and it's close, but it's really close. I think Pierce is right. I'm rocking with the Truth. Over the longevity of the career between the two, I think Pierce was right about what he said. He was more versatile. I think what he did in his 2 championships and who he was playing with in the big 3. And yeah, I mean, I agree with DZ saying, especially down in my, I mean, like Wade, that particular year in that first championship, in that first playoff run was incredible. So like, if we're isolating that 1 year that he played with Shaq and everybody else who was aging and his crew, I would go with Dwayne Wade. But over the longevity of the career, which I think is what Pierce was referring to, I'm rocking the Truth.
B-Dot, Truth or Flash? Who you rocking with?
Man, look, all right, let's keep it all. Let's keep it a buck. All right, I love Paul Pierce. The Truth, he was cold, one of the clutchest dudes ever. The step back was disrespectful. He hit that with slow motion, lean back, fade. You know, made eye contact with your soul. He delivered it when it mattered. I give him that. But come on now, we talking about Dwayne Wade. Mama, there goes that man. Flash. That man was different. All right, Wade had a finals run so crazy in 06. It looked scripted. Okay, averaged 36 points. Dragged the age in Shaq, came back from 0-2 against Dallas. That wasn't basketball, man. That was divine intervention in the sneakers, all right? The accolades add up. Finals MVP, 13 All-Stars, versatile on both sides of the basketball. Let's not forget that he is, if not the best, like they said, Russell Westbrook is the greatest rebounding guard of all time. D. Wade is the greatest shot blocking guard of all time. Like, and the humility to be able to take a backseat to LeBron James when it mattered the most. Paul Pierce is nice, no doubt, but D. Wade, legendary, all right? Like Paul said, he didn't have the Hall of Fame teammates. With D. Wade, with Gary Payton, them, he made them look like Hall of Famers at the age of 96 when they was playing with him, okay? Respect to the Truth, but D. Wade's resume speaks louder. Understand, you know, the scoring ability was different. Paul Pierce was definitely a bucket, but I'm going with Flash, and I love Paul. I love Paul, but Flash over the Truth.
It's the holiday season. We got to buy Christmas presents, right? What do you want? Tough decisions. What do you want to buy your children? Tough decisions. These are tough decisions, okay? Dwight Walton, you're up next here. Who are you rocking with, the Truth or the Flash?
I don't think it's tough for me at all, Rick. I think it's the Flash all day, every day. Paul Pierce is being disingenuous when he says he didn't play with Hall of Famers. Maybe he didn't play with as many, but it took those Hall of Famers to get him his first championship. We got to remember the season prior to the Celtics acquiring Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett that summer, the Celtics had a 18-game losing streak. Paul Pierce was on that team. Coach Doc Rivers was the coach of that team. It took the Ray Allen acquisition, and then it took the acquisition of Kevin Garnett and the drafting of Rajon Rondo, as he wants everybody to know the true pronunciation of his name, to come together and to win that championship. Dwayne Wade, albeit with aging soon-to-be Hall of Famers, won a championship where he was the leader of that team in 2006. So while Paul Pierce had a great career, and Paul Pierce had great battles with LeBron James, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and later on with the Miami Heat, I understand where he wants to put himself in that regard, but it's the Flash for me, because the Flash got it done before Chris Bosh and LeBron James, got it done with Chris Bosh and LeBron James. I just think he had the better overall career on both sides of the floor to accentuate B-Dot's point about being the best shot blocking guard in NBA history. And when we talk about top players at their position, Dwayne Wade is in that top 3 or 4 conversation when you're talking about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jerry West, Dwayne Wade, and whoever else you want to put in that 2-guard situation. Paul Pierce really isn't in that conversation as top small forwards. He's in the conversation, but he's not in that conversation. So for me, it's the Flash all day, every day.
Hey,
Phenomenal
Rick,
point.
I love you, Dwight.
Hey, Rick, I got to get ready to get out of here. And that last point, once again, that's why I love this show. Dwight, you just gave all of our viewers something to think about. It's either MJ, Kobe, D-Wade, MJ, D-Wade, Kobe, depending on, because some people love D-Wade more than Kobe, depending on how old you are. But Paul Pierce has never been in the top 10 in small forwards in any category. And that was deep that you just made, Dwight. So once again, you gave us something to think about. I love you guys. I got to go pick up my daughter. All that good stuff. I got to be a good dad. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Love
Love
you,
y'all.
DZ. Be
Dennis.
well, man. And DZ is out. Okay, guys. So let me give you my answer here. I'm going to warn you. There's some sarcasm involved here. I wanna split this up. Who am I rocking with? The Flash or the Truth? If I'm going to the club, I'm rocking with the Truth. If I want to win a basketball game, and I know I can win with both these guys, but I'm rocking with D-Wade. So I'm big on resume here, guys. And when you talk about D-Wade, 13 All-Stars, Paul Pierce 10, D-Wade 8 All-NBAs, Paul Pierce 4. D-Wade has a scoring title. Paul Pierce didn't do that. Dwayne Wade was 3-time All-Defensive Teams. Paul Pierce was not. Longevity goes to Pierce, 19 years to 16. Overall career stat line, Wade went 22-5-5. To B-Dot's point, and I agree, best shot blocking guard, he was 0.8 blocks per game. It's less than 1, but when he was thriving for all those years, it was 1.5, 1.4, blocking a you-know-what out of the ball, and ended with 1.5 steals. He was a 2-steal guy, right? And then as you play, and it kind of dips a little bit, right? But it is what it is. Shot 48% for his career. Juxtaposed against Pierce, 19.7 points, well below the 22, 5.6 boards, which is over Wade, 3.5 dimes, which is under Wade, but obviously it's a different position, so I'm not tripping on that. And 44% for Paul Pierce's career. So those are the kind of the stats and the resume highlights. There's also something very, very, very simple going on here. Dwayne Wade has 3 rings, 1, 2, 3. Paul Pierce has 1 ring, 3-1. Gigantic separation right there. And Dwayne Wade won rings with 2 different iterations of the Miami Heat. That's very, very impressive to me. And D Wade won a ring as the number 1, and then as the number 2, he got 2 more with the Heatles. That's also very, very impressive to me. And by the way, guys, we know about the powwow that Wade and LeBron had after. It was I still can't believe they lost that series to Dallas down with a 2-1 lead, right? It's the first time in that format, I think it was 2-3-2 at the time. It was the first time the team that wins game 3 in a 1-1 series did not go on to win the NBA Finals. That was nutty stuff. So Wade goes to LeBron and says, I need to be the 2, you need to be the 1. Because they hadn't figured that out yet. Boom, they win 2 in a row right after that. So that sacrifice, I think, also should be lauded by us. Now, let's move on. Unless you guys have something else here, let's move on to the NFL. You guys good? You ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. So last night, guys, we had on Thursday Night Football, we had the Denver Broncos beating the I almost said Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders in a snoozer. And I was busy last night, and frankly, pretty happy that I was not home bored off my butt watching that football game. But anyway, Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7. It's a Thursday Night Football game, right? If you're betting, if you're doing fantasy, don't play your guys on Thursday night. These cats are not ready to go. They just aren't. The games almost always stink. Okay, because these guys don't have enough recovery time, and their bodies are just like, I'm playing a game right now? That's not how my body clock is wired. But the Broncos win again. They are 8-2. They have the best record in the NFL right now, guys. Did you know that? A lot of our audience members. The Denver Broncos, with Bo Nix in his second year, have the best record in the NFL at 8-2. AM for you first. Do you believe in these Broncos to make a playoff run? And by that, that's winning 1 or 2 games. I think we all look at like Chiefs and Bills and stuff like that. But can the Broncos win a couple of games, right? Maybe catch fire and go to the AFC Championship game, or are you nah, I don't believe it. They're going to be one and done in the playoffs. Am Pfeffer, you first.
Yeah, they could definitely win a couple of games, and there's a couple reasons why. Specifically in Vesco Field, so obviously if they end up being one of the top 2 seeds in the AFC when playoff time comes around, everybody's got to travel a mile high into Denver. Now, it's not exactly the home field it once was, But at that time of year in January, when it's freezing cold and you're a mile high, absolutely. That is home field advantage, no doubt about it. And secondly, it's Sean Payton, right? I mean, we've given him his accolades previously. I'm going to continue to give him his accolades. There are only a handful of coaches who actually matter and have longevity and can create a program. Sean Payton is absolutely one of them, and he makes a big difference. He has the defense playing at an extremely high level week after week after week. That's going to come into play in the playoffs. Now, I know where we're probably all going to go with this. You got to have a decent enough quarterback, and Bo Nix has been anything but all year, right? And but there are offensive playmakers on the side on that side of the ball outside of Nix. Certainly, there's a way that Peyton understands the flow of a 60-minute ball game. They can win. Now, are they going to win the Super Bowl? I wouldn't put my money on it, but can they make a playoff run and win 2 games? Yeah, they can.
Dwight Walton, you're up next.
The Denver Broncos, they're a weird football team. I understand this is not college football, so we're not, and college football back in the day when style points and strength of schedule was very important. The reality is the only question mark with this Denver Broncos team is at the quarterback position. And depending how you think of Bo Nix, it goes one of 2 ways. You either think he's Tim Tebow, where he comes up when the team needs him most, and the stat that just jumps out to my point here, the Broncos this season have outscored their opponents in the fourth quarter 82-20. So they pretty much stink for the first 3 quarters of every football game, but then when it matters most, and yes, they've had some luck involved in a couple of victories this season, particularly against the New York Giants, they come back in the fourth quarter, and Bo Nix is a major part of that. But the overall scope of his development this season, from my opinion, I think he's regressed. He's not as good as he was when he came into the league last season. I think Russell Wilson has played better than Bo Nix, but of course, that was simply a personality conflict between current head coach Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, and they just didn't get along, and he just wanted Russell Wilson out of the building. So again, the Broncos are there. They are 8-2, best record overall in the National Football League. To AM's point about having home field advantage, where it could be a 15-inch snowstorm, or it could be 85 degrees in Denver. The weather is so schizophrenic there. It's borderline hilarious. But come playoff time, can they win a game or 2? Absolutely. But I just think the Kansas City Chiefs are better. I think the Indianapolis Colts are better. The Buffalo Bills are better. And if somehow, in some way, shape, or form, the Baltimore Ravens come back and miraculously win the AFC North, they're going to be in the mix as well. But until Bo Nix can solve his first 3 quarters of a football game issue, there's going to be question marks in regards to the Denver Broncos.
B-Dot, do you believe in the Broncos to make a playoff run?
Man, let's just go ahead and start about this. All my parlays was lost on that game.
I'm sorry,
that 10-7 score. That was a baseball score. It's not a football game. It's a baseball score. It was more runs in that Los Angeles Dodgers Toronto Blue Jays World Series. But they're sitting 8-2 on the season. We're gonna start with the good. The defense is elite. They had 6 sacks. Now they lead the NFL. I think with 46 sacks through 10 games, the most since 1990. Sean Payton got those boys. They playing violent and disciplined, okay. But Bo Nix, he's still a work in progress. 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 57% completion. That's not gonna cut it against the playoff defenses. You can't keep asking your defense to ball out every week. This isn't that Peyton Manning defense where he was a game manager and was able to take care of the ball and get them where they needed to get and win that Super Bowl. So in my opinion, are they contenders? I'll say this. They got the formula, that championship level defense, a veteran coach, but just not enough offense to survive. But if Bo Nix don't start taking care of the ball and Sean Payton don't open that playbook, open it up a little bit more, the team still is going to end in the divisional round. They're tough, they're gritty, they're well coached, but they ain't scaring nobody. They're not scaring nobody. They'll win. I think they'll win one playoff game, but Super Bowl, nah. I think it's a couple better teams in the NFL. Those teams' records may not show, but what we know about those teams, like Dwight mentioned, those Chiefs, the way the Colts are looking, and they just added Sauce Gardner. The Broncos, Cool record and all, but nah, I'm not. I'm not a believer right now.
Understood. Love it. They're a tier 2 team in the AFC. In the AFC, the Chiefs and the Bills are the top tier. Thought the Ravens were going to be top tier. It hasn't worked out that way, but
Still got time.
and then
Still got time.
Still got time. Indianapolis and Denver and like the LA Chargers, Jacksonville's trying to get into that second tier. So they're a second tier team. I do believe that because of their defense, and maybe you win 2017, right? Like, because the Denver offense is not swashbuckling, right? They're not just gonna they can't win a shootout. They got to win. They did win a shootout against New York, but that was just a nutty game. But they got to win 21-17. They got to win 19-16. That's kind of their formula right now. I'm a big Bo Nix guy. I do understand, B-Dot, to your point, he's a work in progress. I go back to Auburn with Bo Nix, okay? And he struggled there. He went to Oregon, and he had 2 years there that were spectacular and put the dual threat on display, the monster arm on display. And he's a second-year NFL quarterback, man. I think he's ahead of schedule. I understand that he makes mistakes, he throws picks, and he'll have a terrible quarter and then a rock star quarter. What do we expect? He's a second-year guy. This is exactly what should be happening. So he's ultimately, I think, going to be why they leave the playoffs, right? I think Bo Nix, and he'll learn from it in next year. So, like, next year, I think they're really dangerous because, and the other thing is, this group has not made any playoff game or push yet, right? So it's all new to them. So I'm going to say, yeah, they could probably get a bet against it. I don't see this team winning 2 playoff games. I could see them winning 1 because they're, if they win the AFC West, you get a home game. I could see them winning that game, especially if, like, you have the best record in the conference, which they have a long way to go to do that, but they have it right now. So then you're getting the 7 seed, right? Well, wait a minute, I'm getting this screwed up. You get the bye, and then you come out and you play who wins and stuff like that. But they're going to be set up pretty well to win a divisional game. If it's Chiefs or Bills, they're going to lose that game. But I think they could beat the Colts. I think they could beat the Chargers, the Jaguars, all these other teams. They are second in yards allowed, third in points allowed. Their defense is, in fact, as you guys have said, elite. All right, so let's move on here. Let's make some picks on the big games this week in the NFL. This is week 10. All right, we're over halfway through, and let's go to Monday Night Football. Dwight Walton, you first. Monday Night Football is the 6-2 Eagles at the 5-2-1 Packers. This is a monster NFC game, okay? Who you got?
This is a statement game. This is why I love the National Football League. Every game seems to be the biggest game of a player's career. Jordan Love needs to make a statement in this ball game. He will be the question mark. Again, the quarterback position might be the most important position in professional sports as far as I'm concerned. And Jordan Love needs to come through in these moments. It's almost as if he's living off of his game a couple of years ago against my beloved Dallas Cowboys, where he torched them when we didn't think that was going to happen that season. So he needs to come to the table, stop being reckless with the football. We all understand that he has that Brett Favre mentality to where he thinks he can make all the throws. They already have the defense, which is being led by Micah Parsons. Let's see if they can make a statement on Monday night at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, who have their issues internally but seem to thrive while those issues are happening. There's no questions on the Eagles side. All the question marks, particularly at the quarterback position where Jordan Love is on the Packers side. Make a statement and win on Monday night.
B-Dot, who you got, Packers or Eagles?
I'm rocking with the Eagles. It's simple. Hurts, let Hurts be Hurts. Okay, use that RPO. Get AJ to Brown ball early. Let him get cooking early because, as the game goes on, if he's not getting those targets, if he's not getting those touches, he will get uninterested really fast. Don't abandon the run and control the clock. Keep Jordan Love on that sideline, okay? Make him press when he gets the ball back. All right, now for Green Bay, like Dwight said, it comes down to Jordan Love. He's got, 13 touchdowns, only 3 picks. That's efficient, but he can't play scared. He got to push the ball downfield with efficiency. Test that secondary and get Aaron Jones going. Get him going, slow down that pass rush. But bottom line, the Eagles has more weapons. They have more experience, more ways to win. I think Green Bay, they may hang around and all, but I think Philly will get the job done. So I'm going with Philly on this one.
AM Pfeffer, are you zigging or zagging? What's up, Eagles or Packers, man?
Yeah, look, we got to go back under Sirianni's tutelage, right? The last 7 years, the Eagles are 6-1 off a bye week, and we all know they just had the bye on week 9. Now, that would lead you to believe they're coming in prepared, they're healthy, they're rested, they are ready to win the game. But the Packers are coming off such an embarrassing loss to the Panthers at home, and they get another chance to redeem themselves in front of the home crowd this Monday night, where if you go back and you look at Jordan Love under the lights when he plays at night, he's got a very good record, okay? The Eagles, very up and down this year. There's just a lot of question marks. They turn it on when they want to. There are some question marks in the secondary. However, let's also remind ourselves that the Eagles have been extremely active in the market pre-trade deadline, and they just picked up 3 players that could have a big impact. So there's a lot going on here. I still think the Packers are ready to get this train back on the track. I think there's just not enough firepower still in the secondary for the Eagles to stop the downfield threat that is LaFleur and Love when they're on point together, and I'm seeing it happen again this month. It was too big a loss that just happened. This team is going to rise to the occasion. I'm going Pack.
Rick, before you go, Rick, if I can say one thing, what I failed to mention, Tucker Kraft, arguably the best tight end in football, is not available for Jordan Love. So there's even more pressure on him now to lead his team and to make other players more valuable and more important over the course of this game and the rest of the season.
Excellent point. I'm glad you added that. I mean, Tucker Kraft has been absolutely huge. You remember they drafted Kraft and Musgrave in the same draft. They took Musgrave over Kraft, and then Kraft emerged as the guy, and Musgrave now is going to have to step up for them. I got the Eagles. Sirianni 4-1 coming off of buys in his coaching career. A lot like Andy Reid, right? Like Andy Reid's the man coming off a bye. The Eagles are just a better team. AM, I love your Love is pretty good under the lights, man. That's an excellent point, man. And they are coming off a loss, and we know it's a week-to-week league. It is a week-to-week league. I actually love like when I don't know, mate, like to feel like if I've got a good player who just had a bad game and he's on my fantasy team, I know I'm getting a good one the next week, right? He's a good player, and I'm gonna have 2 bad games in a row. It's like the bounce back factor, right? Get all that, but I got Eagles. I'll go first on this one. We're doing our picks here. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Dr. X is under the weather today. So right now it's Rick Kamla, Brandon Armstrong, Dwight Walton, AM Pfeffer, and we're having a blast here. We've got the roundtable rant coming up here in just a little bit, and then we're going to send you guys all off into the weekend. But Steelers at 5-3, Chargers at 6-3, Sunday Night Football, it's a big one. I got the Chargers in this game, guys. This is a letdown factor for the Steelers. AM, to what you and I have been talking about here. So the Packers are going to come back with a big punch, right? You know they are. They might not win the game, but they're going to come with a big punch, and I think that's going to be a hell of a game. The Steelers just beat the Colts. And we ran out of time last week and couldn't get to the NFL picks. I had the Steelers beating the Colts last week, guys. Why? I thought the Colts were due for a correction. That's simple. They were 7-1. They're not that good, in my opinion. And the Steelers got them. Okay, but now the Steelers coming off of that win that got the league buzzing, letdown factor. And so I think the Chargers, they're at home. They're 6th in yards allowed, which is elite, obviously. They're like 10th or 11th in points allowed at 21.4. So they have a very good defense over there. And you have Justin Herbert against a not-so-great Steelers defense, which is weird. But I will take the Chargers, and I go to Dwight Walton first.
This is where we're going to disagree, Rick. I just think you've got, yes, the most expensive defense in football has been disappointing. But they hear the chatter all week. They've been hearing the chatter for weeks. And I think pride is going to come to the forefront. I don't think those veterans are going to make sure that they don't have a come down or a letdown off of that huge win over the Colts at home last week. I believe in Aaron Rodgers more than I do Justin Herbert. The Chargers are dealing with too many injuries right now collectively. Yes, they are getting some players back, but I just think the Chargers are dealing with too much adversity. And a key component, the game may be in Los Angeles, but I believe a good portion of SoFi Stadium on Sunday is going to be Steeler Nation. The Pittsburgh Steelers crowd, they traveled extremely well, and I think you're going to hear a lot more cheering for the Steelers on Sunday than you will the LA Chargers. That will play a factor, and again, I just think Aaron Rodgers will have those guys on tilt to where everybody's talking, and he hears it. Trust me, he listens to everything on talk radio and on talk television about how this is a possible letdown game. I think Mike Tomlin will have the troops prepared, and that defense has too much pride. I believe the Steelers, with their crowd that's going to travel well, will have an upset victory over the Chargers at home.
Interesting. AFF or Steelers or Chargers?
I'm with you, Dwight. The Steelers are going to sneak this one out. There's too much going against the Chargers right now. This is a team with Joe Alt and without Joe Alt. That's actually how pivotal he is on that line. And without him, they're just a problem in the run game and protecting Herbert. Even though the Steelers don't have the defense that they've had in the past, they still got some serious firepower in Watt. I'm forgetting, is it Hightower? Who's on the other side of the line? Who
Highsmith.
Haven't even got Highsmith, excuse me, thank you. Who have not even, yeah, and they haven't even gotten going just yet. Let's give Mike Tomlin his due. This guy every year in and year out, just gets it done. He has mitigated the fact that they don't have the defense that they did previously, and he is using Rodgers right. I mean, the air yards are way down. They're the lowest in the league. He gets the ball out quickly. There's a lot of yards after the catch. He's got the run game where it needs to be. He's got everybody playing their position the right way. The Steelers are not a great team by any stretch of the imagination. The Chargers, on paper, in a lot of ways, are, especially defensively, but they're not the Broncos. There's a couple of games when they have not shown up. And to Dwight's point, SoFi Stadium is going to look a lot more black and gold than it is lightning bolt. I gotta go Steelers in this game.
B-Dot, Bolts or Stees?
In my Stephen A. Smith voice, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen enough. I'm rolling with the LA Chargers, okay? And I say that with no hesitation whatsoever. Justin Herbert, that boy out there slinging at the football, averaging 270 passing yards a game. The Chargers offense ranks top 5 in total yards, top 3 in passing. And when they get cooking, it's surgical, okay? Now the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lord have mercy. The offense is anemic, okay? Ranked in the bottom 10 in points, can't sustain drives. They got more 3-and-outs than a Waffle House got breakfast combos, all right? I respect Mike Tomlin, all right? Brother can coach his tail off. But you can't win games scoring 13, 15 points a week. So, yes, I'm rolling with the Chargers. I'm rolling with Herbert's arm, Keenan Allen's routes, and the tempo going to wear on Pittsburgh. All right, it's going to wear them down, all right? The Steelers, they bring grit. The Chargers bring production. In this league, ladies and gentlemen, production is what wins football games. Taking the Chargers' money line.
I love it, dude. I love it. Can I get a Lad McConkey touchdown? Can I get a Quentin Johnston touchdown? They're on my fantasy teams, man. All right,
Johnston
let's
on
move
mine
on.
too. Let's do it.
Quentin Johnston, he either does nothing or he scores a touchdown. Like, he's had 2 bagels and like a touchdown like every other game. He's had a weird stat pattern, but overall, a breakout year for Quentin Johnston. He was garbage last year, and I loved him at TCU. Big body, the guy can go, and I'm happy that he's putting it all together this year. All right, let's stay out west. Let's go to the NFC here. Rams at 49ers. Ooh la la, what a game, right? It's a rivalry game. They play each other twice a year, and this is going to be a down in the mud, a kick-ass game. I got the Rams, guys. Matt Stafford's on another level right now. MVP candidate. Brock Purdy is coming back off the injury. Does it throw the team off? I mean, is he rusty? You know, obviously they've been winning with Mac Jones. So does it throw it off or does it enhance it? That's a question I have. The Rams are good against the run. They're 11th in yards allowed against the run. And I looked up that stat because you got Christian McCaffrey, dude. How do you defend running backs? And that was really the hinger for me. If the Rams were 27th in rushing yards allowed, right, I'm going Niners. But because I believe they can do an effective job on CMC, and I question the passing game weaponry that the 49ers have, regardless of their quarterback, I will go with the Rams, who – I'm just a Sean McVay guy, guys. And I like Kyle Shanahan a lot. I think he's maybe the best play designer in the NFL. like the exotic looks and all the eye candy that leads to nothing except diverting the eyes of the day. It's just brilliant. All the misdirection. I love Kyle Shanahan's plays. But Sean McVay wins big games. Kyle Shanahan's had problems with that. We know this. All right, so I'll cap it there. AM Pfeffer, you're next. I got Rams. You got Rams or you got Niners? Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Rams as well. I'm actually for both of those guys. I'm a Shanahan guy and I'm a big McVay guy. And you know what? Those two guys like each other. You know what? There is a friendly rivalry that goes on, a long history between the two of them for sure. But ultimately, at this point of the season, the Rams are just healthier. They're better. They're cooking. And to your point, Stafford is playing on another level this year. As long as he's upright and healthy and what he's doing, and he's got two great receivers, and they've got two good backs who can get through that line, and they've got a very good defense this year. The Niners are just up against it, and I'm with you. Purdy comes back. I think he's going to be a little bit rusty. CMC's a one-man wrecking crew, but if they can mitigate that even 60, 70% of who he's been, what he's been, you know, on as a running back and through the air, it could be a walk-off. I think the Rams could win by 10, 12 points. Rick, you're on mute.
Mute.
Sorry, guys. B-Dot, Rams or Niners?
I'm going with the Rams, man. Puka Nacua been cooking. All right, 12.2 yards a catch, 290 yards this season. This man, he's on my fantasy team. Probably the best pick I've ever done. I've ever picked in a while. Okay, Brock Purdy is back, but that don't scare me, man. I mean, very efficient. You know, went from Mr. Irrelevant to franchise quarterback. I love his journey and what he's done and what he's become. But when Stafford spreading that ball and, you know, McVay's play calling got defenses dizzy, I gotta go with the Rams, man. I'm going with the Rams 100%. That's nothing else to say about it. Love the 49ers. Love what CMC's been doing this year. I'm glad he's back, healthy, doing what he's do. But Rams money line. Rams in 5.
There it is. There parlay. You gonna attach a parlay to that money line?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Puka with at least 11 targets, 7 receptions. Over 75 yards. I'm going to pair that with Matthew Stafford at least. Matthew's going to give me 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I'm going CMC over receiving and rushing 85 yards. That's the parlay that's going to pay my child support this month.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I love that. All right, Dwight, Niners or Rams, dude?
Is it official that Purdy is playing?
Yeah, I think it is. I'll confirm that, but I read last night. Let me confirm that. I'm pretty sure he's playing.
Because this situation is eerily similar to what's going on in Arizona right now with the Jacoby Brissett. I know Kyler Murray was conveniently put on injured reserve. I think that to make the decision easier
Wait a second. Dwight, I apologize. I was prepping for the show. I read somewhere. I think AI might have duped me. Because I asked it, is Brock Purdy playing this week, right? And I think AI duped me because I just looked it up. Mac Jones is starting this week, okay? So thank you for bringing that up. I just fell victim to AI here. AI's not perfect.
And this is why I think I'm going to go with the Niners on Sunday. Mac Jones has something going on here with the Niners. I know they lost the heart and soul of that defense, Fred Warner on the defense side of the football, but there seems to be some kind of magic that's working with Kyle Shanahan, Mac Jones, and the 49ers. Yes, Matthew Stafford is in the MVP conversation. He and Puka Nacua are having a terrific synergy over the last several seasons. And to your point, B-Dot, I think Nacua is going to have 11 targets in the first quarter alone, let alone over the course of the game. That's how in tune they are. And to have the chemistry with Devontae Adams not participating in training camp at all with the back issue, which I think the Rams are playing possum. They have an aging quarterback, 37 years of age, Matthew Stafford. They were resting him. But the synergy that he has with Devontae Adams has been fantastic. But sometimes that goes against the grain. The Niners are at home, and for whatever reason, Mac Jones is having a revival of his career under Kyle Shanahan. They're hot. They're at home. I'm going to go against the grain and take the Niners in an upset over the Rams this Sunday.
Interesting. So here is this is not AI. This is not us speculating. This is on NBC Sports. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan, and this came out 21 hours ago. So this is probably like after the practice on Thursday. Shanahan said the team will make a decision tomorrow afternoon. Pardon me. Meaning today, Friday afternoon, regarding whether Brock Purdy with a toe injury will suit up in Week 10 against the Rams. Per Shanahan, Purdy is, quote, getting closer to returning. Just last week, the Niners decided not to have Purdy active, even for backup duties, after practicing in a limited capacity all week. He has been limited with his 2 practices this week. So we are in a big I don't know on Brock Purdy. I would say, based on what I just read right there, signs point to Mac Jones getting another start in Week 10 against the Rams on Sunday. But it's not in cement yet. So there is a little bit of intrigue there. All right, everybody's gone on this one. Dwight, you go first on Patriots and Buccaneers, which is going to be played right down the road from me. I'm in Clearwater. Obviously, it'll be played at Tampa at Raymond James Stadium, where they fire the cannons and all that. That stuff's really cool, I think. Brings the kid out in me, B-Dot. Patriots at 7-2. Buccaneers at 6-2. Huge game. Okay, Dwight Walton, who you got?
The buck stops here for the Patriots. I know they're a great story. Drake May has been the talk of the National Football League. The Patriots finally have their quarterback post Tom Brady. Mike Vrabel's in the Coach of the Year running. Obviously, the Patriots are in the playoff picture. This, that, and the third. I get it, but I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I have been since he came to the National Football League. He just plays with that chip on his shoulder, that underdog mentality, to where wasn't highly recruited, went to all these different schools, transferred several times in college, has been doubted ever since he came into the league, and he's just overcoming his, for whatever reason, he and the head coach at Tampa Bay have just gotten along very well, and he has maintained his career, and deservedly so has been doing quite well with the Bucs. I just think the Bucs have something going. They have overcome adversity in terms of injury week in and week out, and that's why, although Baker Mayfield may not be at the top of the MVP ladder right now, he has definitely put himself into that conversation. There's just something about being in Tampa, being in that weather, and just having that last possession mentality that Baker Mayfield has. I just think it's going to be too much for the Patriots, who are coming in hot, and they are the talk of the National Football League. Drake May will make a statement, but I just think if it comes down to the final possession, Baker Mayfield will make it happen, and the Bucs will come out on top on Sunday.
It's fair, very fair. B-Dot, who you got, man, in this one?
Man, I'm going with Drake May and them Pets, man. I think the boy averaging 200 plus passing yards with a passer rating over 100 in the last 8 games. That's like the longest streak in league history this season. The Bucs, they're banged up, man. The Patriots defense been playing really well. They haven't allowed an opposing back reach over like 70 yards all year, if that. It's the longest streak since the Super Bowl era. And on top of that, Tampa's had trouble converting the red zone. I love Baker Mayfield. I'm a big time Baker Mayfield fan. I love the underdog story. Everything he went through with the Cleveland Browns, to see him prevail, take a Tom Brady Super Bowl team and turn it into itself. I love it. But New England is rolling, man. And Stephon Diggs, he's finding himself. Got his first touchdown last week. So I think you continue to ride that wave. And I love how the Pats are looking, and I love what Drake May is doing and providing for that team. And yeah, I'm going with the Pats, baby.
A.M. Pfeffer, you're next, man. Pats or Bucs?
Yeah, Rick, it's like you said. I mean, the NFL is a week-to-week game, right? And it's like all this conversation right now about Drake May and winning the MVP is the perfect time for the train to stop rolling right now, and it's a perfect time to stop rolling down in Tampa Bay. I'm going with the Bucs. They're coming off the bye week. They're healthier. Egbuka's healthier. Bucky Irving's back, and I understand the Patriots are on a historical heater when it comes to what they're giving up against the running back, but Bucky Irving can catch the ball out of the backfield too, and that's going to make a big difference here. Okay, they're coming off a pretty big embarrassing loss a couple weeks ago in Detroit. They had run out of gas themselves. They needed to recoup. I think that they did. Great job by the Patriots. Vrabel, everything that they're doing has been extremely impressive this year. They're on a heater themselves, but I think that heater stops this weekend. I'm definitely picking the Bucs.
Interesting. I am loath to correct you, but I need to. Bucky Irving, and you, this came out 4 hours ago. Bucky Irving has been ruled out for this game. So just wanted to put that out
I take it
there.
all back. The Pats are winning this. No.
I love it. So I'm guys, I'm an NFL fan free agent, right? You guys know I'm 3 times divorced, 2 wives in the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have a team. I kind of want a team. I kind of don't want a team. I'm kind of like, it's kind of like me with women right now, honestly. Right? Sorry, I'm not on stage. But good boy, there's a lot of comedy there, a lot of trauma too. Okay, but yeah, the Bucks. I'm almost ready. AM, Dwight, and B-Dot to just be like, all right, screw it. I'm down here. I mean, I freaking love it in Florida. I've been down here 6 years, right? I love it down here. Don't want to move. If I'm here the rest of my life, then I'm blessed. So I think I'm just gonna dive in, but I haven't quite done it yet. So that's sort of a percolating storyline that probably very few people care about. But anyway, I'll move on to my pick here. I've got the Patriots. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now are without 4 of their top 5 skill players. They're without Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, and Bucky Irving. The only guy they have left is Ibuka, right? And Rashad White's a good back, but he's not electric. He's not super dynamic, right? He's just kind of a grinder. He's a solid back, good backup running back, right? And so I think that there's some attrition that really hasn't happened yet, that the Bucks kind of owe the stat gods or the percentages, right? Like for the Bucks to be 6-2 without like literally nothing from Evans and Godwin and barely anything from Irving is a miracle. It's a freaking miracle. It is. You take off the four of the top 5 skill players on other teams in the NFL, they're not 6-2. So I feel like there's a correction coming on because I love your point, AM, right? Just when that hype train just gets it's like, and then pop. But I just look at the other side as vulnerable right now. The Bucks are already coming out of a bye. And what I've found is when a team is cooking into the bye, they come out kind of lame. When a team sucks going into the bye, they figure it out and they come out better. And that's not like every single time, but I've just noticed that trend. And the Bucks at 6-2 fall into that bucket for me. All right, guys, let's wrap up the show with the roundtable rant, and let's go to AM
Rick,
yeah, what's up,
Rick? Before the rant, can we go back and just talk about one more game? I think that there's one big game that we missed. This is a fantastic week for the NFL. Seriously, I mean, it like punctuated, right? Like, can we talk about our Broncos playing the Chiefs this week? That game is so pivotal, right? Because again, as of now, the Chiefs are outside looking in. They're the 8th seed, okay? And everybody's thinking that the Ravens are going to scream up the board and somehow get in there. And we all know the Jags, who are sitting in the 7th seed, actually have a game up on the Chiefs right now. This is the game. This is the week, and this is in Invesco Field, right? These 2 teams have not played each other yet. You're going to find out a lot about the Broncos and the Chiefs this week. You're going to find out if Peyton is really the guy, and you're going to find out if the Broncos could even make that run we were all debating just a couple of minutes ago. So I even more than some of the games we talked about, to me, this is actually the game of the week, especially if you're a Chiefs fan, especially if you're an NFL fan and expect them to make the playoffs, because if they don't win this week, it wouldn't surprise if they just fall outside of the 7th seed when push comes to shove. And I know that sounds crazy to say, but this is a huge game. Let's hear from everybody else on this.
Isn't that next week? The Broncos played last night.
You know what? I take it all back. You're absolutely right. Did I miss that? It's not this. It's next week.
It's next Sunday.
I don't need. You know what? I'm so sorry, Rick. I'm sure you would not have missed this if it was on the docket. So this is my bad. I'm not. I was looking down the schedule. You're absolutely right. I take it all back. I'm so sorry, everybody. My apologies.
No problem.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. All right, so let's get a rant on here. I'll dive in. Guys, let's get to the source of the Ja Morant drama. It is not T. Morant's fault. Stop that narrative, please. T. Morant's got to do more. He's got to do more. That's a father-son relationship that I don't know much about other than, optics that I see when T's at a game and stuff like that. I'm not talking about T and his son. I'm not going to their dinner table, right? To me, that's out of bounds, man. T. Martin, how do you know T. Martin needs to do more? Maybe T. Martin's saying all the right things and Ja's not listening to any of it. But I don't know. I'm not going to put blame on either side. The drama is Zach Kleiman's fault. That's whose fault it is. And there is a lack of professionalism from Ja Morant, and there's stuff there. But why do we have this Ja drama right now? Not the gun stuff and all the games missed. No. Right now, where we're at right now with John Izolo, okay, the new Memphis coach, Zach Kleiman. Zach Kleiman should have never traded Taylor Jenkins. I could not believe it when he did. I still can't. It's one of the dumbest front office moves ever, okay? This guy was one of the best in the NBA at doing more with less. All the injuries, right? Remember the year they went 20-5 in the 25 games Ja Morant missed with Tyus Jones? 20-5 without Ja Morant. What? And you blow this guy out. So Zach Kleiman talked about the move at the time. Pardon me, guys. He said, urgency is a core principle of ours. My expectations are clarity of direction. Again, you're hitting me with boardroom crap that nobody understands. That means nothing, okay? You wanted change for the sake of change, all right? But Kleiman cannibalized Taylor Jenkins. Let's go back to before last year, all right? Jenkins, the team forced him to fire a bunch of his assistants, including some guys I'm friendly with, and that pissed me off. So Izolo won a Euro Cup championship. They paid him 7 figures to come over as an assistant. They paid another guy, Coach LaRoche, 7 figures to be an assistant. Taylor Jenkins did not want either of these guys, okay? They were literally hired to replace Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins, I'm sure, saw the writing on the wall. You're making me blow out coaches. You're hiring 2 guys I don't want that you want, and you're paying them big-time money. I'm not dumb here. I see what's happening. But Kleiman forgot one very, very important thing. Does your star player want your cute, cuddly Euro coach? It's pretty clear that Ja Morant did not want that. Did Zach Kleiman check with Ja Morant? I'm quite sure he did not. He probably would have been like, well, you're going to fire Taylor Jenkins? For who? Right? Ja Morant had joy for the game under Coach Jenkins. Ja played relatively hard under Coach Jenkins. Ja put up big numbers for Coach Jenkins when healthy. Ja went to the second round of the playoffs with Coach Jenkins. Okay? Ja obviously strongly disagrees with the hiring of the new coach. There's no trust, there's no respect, no relationship, no vibe, nothing except a pending divorce. Okay? This is Zach Kleiman's fault. There is, like I said, there's culpability with Ja too in terms of a lot of lack of professionalism. But if they don't hire these 2 assistants, and if they keep Taylor Jenkins, none of this Ja drama would be happening right now. And I don't believe that Morant would be acting like this with Jenkins as his coach. All right. So Zach Kleiman has sabotaged his own team by overthinking it. And that's what bosses sometimes do. And he's obviously one of the better bosses. I shouldn't say that way. He's a decent boss in the NBA. I can't go more north than that. This is probably going to cost Zach Kleiman his job. Okay. And I can tell you right now, Ja's going to be traded. They're going to get 50 cents on the dollar. They're going to enter tank mode. And after a couple of years of winning 20 games, Izolo's going to be blown out too. And none of this needed to happen. That's my rant. Dwight Walton, you're next.
My rant, I guess, is a positive one. I am a LeBron James advocate, as everybody knows. I like the start for the Los Angeles Lakers. They're 7-2. Second place in a very competitive Western Conference. LeBron James hasn't even played yet. I think he's going to add to the Lakers and their success this season as opposed to having to fit in. And a lot of fans out there who simply don't like LeBron James and use their emotion, they're going to say that the Lakers are better off without him, and how him opting into his $50 million contract is why they can't make the moves necessary to help the Lakers going forward. But Rob Pelinka needs to be commended here. He brought in players that a lot of fans out there didn't think were going to pan out, and they were basically given to the Lakers, talking about Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia. He has those players playing, and for whatever reason, and Coach Redick said it, sometimes you get a group of guys together in the pros, and they just happen to click. And this group so far has clicked. They've got possibly and arguably the greatest basketball player of all time coming into the fold in a couple to several weeks. And I just see nothing but positivity for the Lakers going forward. They're off to a great start. Luka Doncic obviously is having an MVP start to the season. Austin Reeves is a more than capable third option. And when either LeBron or Luka Doncic goes to the bench, Austin Reeves is more than capable of leading the troop, the second unit, and sometimes even the first unit. JJ Redick is definitely in the Coach of the Year conversation. And when LeBron James returns to a pretty decent Laker roster right now, after 10 games of the season, I think the Lakers are looking in very good shape and are somewhat of a surprise to be in second spot in a very competitive Western Conference.
B-Dot, you got a rant before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got a little more on the positive side also. I want to go ahead and give my B-Dot's way too early All-Stars. All right, so, before we wrap up, it's time for, B-Dot's way too early All-Star pick. Yeah, it's early, but I'm outside the barbershop, and I'm calling it now, all right? First up, we got my boy Denny Avishai out of Portland, okay? He hooping like he got freed from D.C., Burr playing like he got impeached, all right? 24 night, fresh air, new life, okay? Next up, we got Austin Reeves dropping 31-9, playing like he just found out Larry Bird left from the house and the jumper, okay? And let's talk about my man, hallelujah, Amen Thompson, okay? Bro ain't human. That boy is an alien. He averaging 18, 6, and 6. First time playing PG in the NBA, bro. With Wi-Fi built into his sneakers, all right? ET is looking for him, okay? And now we're going to go with my man Josh Giddey. He in Chicago hooping like Michael Jordan with manners, okay? 23, 10, and 9. Talking about good game, mate. While cooking you, it's different, bro. And Jaylen Brown, straight up man child, okay? He out there bench pressing defenders for fun, averaging 18 and 11 with pure violence. And last but not least, I like my boy Keontae George in Utah, looking like a seasoned Mormon. He averaging 22 and 8, hitting crossovers, then showing up to choir practice on time the next day. All right. So look, I'm going to call it right now. I see the future. These are my picks when these all-star ballots start coming out. Remember these names, okay? Straight from Dr. Prophet, and that's my rant.
Okay, Dr. Prophet. I'm writing that down. I like all that. I like what's happening here. B-Dot.
I give 10% of the copyright.
Dr. Prophet. I like that. I had to write that down. I remember that. B-Dot, I got to ask you a question. You're a good freestyler, aren't you?
Yeah, I do a little something.
Okay, that means he's excellent. He's being humble right there. I see you. I see you. I see you, B-Dot. All right, AM Pepper, you get the final word here, my man. Rant away if you have one.
I think after my Chiefs Broncos blunder, I do not deserve a rant this week. So I'm going to keep it at bay and we'll save it for next week. But I am going to respond to all of yours, and I'm going to respond. We're on the positivity train, so I'm going to respond positively to this. B-Dot, we'll start with you. Denny Avdija, I'm so glad you brought him up. Go back to last season, anybody who's watching this, and look at the guy's last 6 weeks of last season as he's dovetailed into this season. He is absolutely could possibly be a top 20, 25 player in this league. He's been tremendous, really, and Portland is somehow in the thick of it. Dwight, you have been on an island, it feels like, with LeBron for the past couple of weeks and what you've been banging on the table about. But I think if you've been paying attention, I've been on your side with this, and I happen to agree with you. I think the warm and cuddlies continue when he gets back on that team, and something about going on out here in our neck of the woods in Los Angeles, and JJ Redick, who is absolutely in the mix for Coach of the Year. And Rick, Zach Kleiman, buddy, yo. You really did. You screwed this up. This is all on him. I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, it doesn't mean that Ja gets to act as exactly as he's been acting, but this comes back to the GM. You know me as a businessman. I love to play GM in this, and if I'm putting myself in his shoes, he has made every blunder under the sun in the last 18 months. Rick, you're absolutely right. This really does fall on him. That's all I got to say. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, you guys are amazing, man. You really are. Look, hugs and kisses to all of our great audience members. We seriously love you guys and girls out there. Please subscribe and like our stuff, all right? Our YouTube channel, the X-Rated Sports Network YouTube channel. Please check that out. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. That stuff helps. So we're going to wrap it up right now. Huge thanks behind the glass to Jason and Kai. They do phenomenal work. Jason's our producer. Kai's our technical director. For A.M. Pfeffer, for Dwight Walton, for Brandon Armstrong, for our guy, Dr. Phil McDonald, Dr. X, who's under the weather, for Dennis Scott, for Correa dropping by, and for all of you, I'm Cam. Have a great weekend. We will see you Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with another edition of Beyond the Service on the X-Rated Sports Network.